It work for that. Using a little, I just took the work well. It's what download it. It's something new. So you would die again? Don't work well. Hey, and what for that? What was well, you get to go. I didn't this go. Call targeting on the screen. Upper leg once the music is a bit of entertainment, you will take a very important topic that we will discuss this afternoon. You know, put the brain shortly. And music with the Kayo quite die. And yeah, we're quite die. Yeah, quite on the show tonight or this afternoon. And yeah, bagi show bagi here. Ku bu jala twenken and loida. So we ya teach in Dr. Abur, Win John Jock, ku ja usats a quick, logi choken logi here, the year live on your side. Ku jagol. A kuja chigal, I hope I've been back soon. Ku obula ting, we quite a diamond. Ku quite be sure big jabal away. Echo, which a cake lord, and welcome to Conman Heart Talk Show. Chokin, it's your jam, Kyle Lake. Issues called face Koi community, you South Sudanese in particular, or you could migrants or Africans in particular. So yen Kwajiben tonight, we quite die, we quite die, Abakele we it's on talking on the screen. Dr. William Abur Chagating at on the left hand corner. A bit talking Wagaman called John Deng Jok, Deng Jok Chagating on the screen. At all on the bottom left of the screen. Yeah, I could on the right bottom left right bottom on the screen. So okay, I quite be over jam. Okay, quite yeah, and I quite first hand information big level we quite developing. Quite on with Kunga College, quite on the college. It will be beneficial. It's on Ranabin. Well, again, we yield Kunga round it. So keep it away. I can't keep thinking it. A big level. And which again welcome with you at bit time and ku koy wala die. So yen can balo jam dai give for Kenan law to the questions ke bugaloy Dr. William Abur Abalwil yen Dr. William Abur atoke lecturer in one of the universities in Victoria for Australia Chavale in which university for confidentiality yen toke one of the lecturers one of the universities Biden deng jong ding ke deng jok chakating on the screen atoke educator, one of the secondary schools, Biden. The same kana kuch akunyi deng atoke one of the educators in one of the secondary schools, Fan Victoria, Melbourne, Biden as well. So okay, keep it way gale. Achi akichile ke egi chigi ting, egi chigi loy, egi chigi ping. Ke big well. Yeah, interestingly, yen ke gaining interest on these education issues. Akuch herself today, we viewers, in one of the first females you can't be on this show. I can any female get South Sudanese or any other females from different backgrounds you can't be. So quit into you're highly welcome. Can by participating today on this show. Here one of the first a female first or women first. So you need to lower it can buy one of the participants today. William Aburia Chugulor and high interest on education Biden Uja mental health, which is a different topic. Then we talk having a lot of interest as well in terms of education challenges. We were paid by the some projects involved. So ka chiwlo too much. We ba ko yen pursa ke icebreaker can bring a broadway mass. Wam jaben to Q&A. You can work a topic today. Our topic, someone waiting, are challenges facing migrant or refugee kids or young people in Australian education system. In the topic that we were jumping, you come can one go no mit kwa targeting kwa ngi ke yung mit ko nwan ku mit ko bu ko nyadi ka bu go jumping. Before that, ko kilo to Q&A. Yen of a goal, a quick ladies first. Yen lero ramas ku ho jabelo.
Thank you. So introduction, just brief introduction, Mujwala.
Yes, a brief introduction.
Okay. Yeah, so Anjala kuja kunyuyen ding banai pai ban kawaja kai be chol your grandfather's name, so we ke chol kunyeng, but I kunyuyen. Yeah, so I'm a teacher and worked as a multicultural liaison as well in one of the secondary school here in Melbourne with John Jokigan. And yeah, I've completed my double bachelor's degree in 2018, and then started a master's, which I hope to complete by the end of this year. So yeah, that's the briefest introduction about me.
Thank you, Kujinchul late Rambenman, Dr. Abur, Yimben, and then ku John Ding, Joko Ben, after you.
Thank you, Philip. In Chale Japai, in Biden Chaloi ku Bawchol with this show when I engaging with public, it's very crucial in terms of education. So and brought introduced quickly, I'm William Mabur, based on Kawaja system, otherwise initial William Bolding Abur. Based on the South Sudanese way of, Tadano Road Charleston. Taban, I can big introduction below. I'm somebody from public life. So if you Google William Mabur, my background will come up. That is a reality of our work. I'm a social worker by professions, so I work, in a community sector and work in a school, especially, in high school before I move before Kayanla into the higher education section, which is the university where I'm currently in. So that's just a short introduction, Tenian. Otherwise, the members of the panels are my colleagues, people that I have worked with them, and I'm very confident to inform the public that these members are well informed on the topic, and therefore, it is a right choice. It is up to the public. So our job is to hear what we know, and it's up to the public to either utilize it or to leave it. But I can assure you, these members are well informed in the area. Both of them are currently doing research. They have been in the field, working in a practical field, and they are also doing research. So if you need a practical information, they have it. If you need a theoretical information, they have it. That's what I could say. Thank you.
Yin Dr. Abur Chul late, Kachagalwell, Yen Ding Jok, Baben, but brief introduction, Baloy, Wujalo to Q&A.
Yen for in Chaleja Jack, Kujola Koidai, Kujola colleague, William Kujola Kuch, Chibani Yakol, Kuba Lule a brief introduction day. Chiman Chi waiting and the John Deng Jok. Deng John Deng. Karinki. Not on Melbourne here in Australia. Ku alui area education. My qualification actually education, and I've been from a bit far away from education. Ku baben education age, and my current qualification yakalo manaja local education jaloke my research field practically and theoretically and in education here in Melbourne. Chimanuncha kujelwe liaison officer, the community liaison officer. So, and I'm kukecho ajala jale area tau area one of my qualification issues chakating ke our community face where I think kajikona former teacher kuja moved to Australia ku jalting wala ting dadi na koren kula ben ku ya fit. So ke kelel ko a good topic ina jagi challenge ayawi lokoi non ke kelel the social media age pay ki ben ko chiran che ben yal kana ja ben yal chi man chi na ben yal ke ngiku abu le public abu yo up to public be ping ku bra loy wala ping ku hira loy ke we ya ke lor chan ba ke ping ku ya le de ku le we chi gu mi ra chi ba like last 10 years yen kriben ping koi ga pan community duna chinang koi chida ka chi ngich long health long education ku ya other field so apia na chi koi kun den chi ya ben kun de ke lwel ke kara na tam de gam abada kun wek so thank you Jack.
Hey, and we viewers, diamond, die with sugar lord, will educate this healthy discussion Gabuloy this afternoon. When quite on the screen targeting, now benang 10 each, for big work, what the topic is about, yung Iran cake about the topic. Again, not to be biased, but then can jump into the questions. But by then the second round, so quick, it's an honor. Can Bajaba on the show this afternoon. When quite with the Matku domain. Normally, I will take a Jolga Tigato. Ian show a kilo that long. It's a very new show. Human show about think for blood and they but that's not the aim. Our aim is to pass the message.
Yeah.
By keeping on the time,
Yeah.
this is what we're aiming for. So it's show up here a goal. And Ian, again, ladies first. So question in what you know, quitting of Ben. Ian, keep a thing of which you talk here on a page. In here, certain education system getting Biden. You know that our South Sudanese in particular, we are the migrants. Here, one of them. You refugees. So keep a theme. What are the challenges? Checking first hand here on a PH or key one of the educators in a certain system. Biden come with quite disengaged from education system. Biden you can't with quite disengaged. Can have been about American about Dr. Abur John Jock Biden. So we before Kinniben we quite die. Quit itself a video call about this topic. About a year ago, the video was one of the actually went viral. That video, I've seen it myself. Some of you are checking, and today I'm honored. Can Bakubito on Conan Heart Talk Show can be the same frustration, the same message you know pass on, or you can pass on through that video. Reflected now with the new changes while we are facing COVID-19 now. So COVID-19, both getting a question, but what are the challenges facing our young people in Australian education system? A question, quick. Lottery.
Thank you, Jack. This question is very broad. There's a lot of challenges that are facing Mithkwa as a college. Kayen to be an golden because there's a lot of factors. Yani be kagwin button myth, kagwin button parents, kujana kagwin system education. So kayen can in order book la deep into those kadang which zaman did but kage to me I think in all these three areas adagi challenges when you band together could be impacted. So kayen I'll just say a few 10 side education system jumu wan chi obolel kan bajala ten koi kwa ten parents kujana ten meet, and I'm sure John K. William abdeka won't be add on. So just briefly, I ten education system by it can jimmy again ten be walked education system they different to here. So when it got one kajaba ku kwaji won ke kon last school that in le ben one, and according to your age in ba ku ya in won chen suppose be tatin kene the first kadango ku go yuktin, but any system then by it can kajala nyal based on your age. Okay, so kene tatin base system then it's second to that when can chap chi an jam about one briefly jemen ke adag any curriculum ade ka kanti won tatin that yuk that are all being me coin, but to us or to me, I get disadvantage to meet a little bit. Kukene can a little book ya benting it but in more details. But kene yok education system by taken ache perfect or I can tailored perfectly for us. So what the disadvantages can't even that thing. Nale benten parents, ka parents ache that involved be education media. They try, but in within education by taken your participation ka yi parent must be a ditin be kan media. Actually can be a little responsibility but you can college school you can teachers could that's it I can come just by me school yen. Parents are can be in a coaching education media. Can bang young lord parent teachers interview with lord be can career pathways. Lord make sure bang young recommend do. Make sure results ka team, make sure report a team, make sure you're asking questions. Kene involvement to koi kwa ke parents al akora pay. Kukene one of the challenges or one of the factors that won't meet ache ke jol ka ngilu. Na le benten meet themselves. Ade kene when ayok ke meet kwa en ka ngi ku ke already to lem ben be tichika lu brought up in channel garden meet when be diet and got a meet ka be ke ka deal overseas. One of the factors en ayok en kedanichal identity then being who they are. Actually that a chicken chanalu living in between pir kawaja kuja pir ran culture dan South Sudan. Kwachin gonna wona kumu fully aja te ka mijiten. Tele bani ya tele ke te school. Ka kan wona ke la through achi ke like parents can there's no that engagement between kids kujana midune ke rulek dalin ke dalan en ki kutie parent lek de ngoyen dali can be that support system for each other can balwe na de kan won dalin school ka leg your parent be parent ko kuchenga yini ya yin parent balatin ko kon be te de kan won dalen. Second to that too I feel like peer pressure ek der won that thing angi kuata bin pan ka waja de ta tin ka mit peer pressure kujana the fact that I feel that mit kwa I could struggle one in big attendment. I'm very sure some of us here one baga education con kadan one in a week in your education, but we in it. But we thrive on it. Yin wujen a liu turn a lot of meat that zeal for education a liu cake. I ka ja pick book a ja tear care what she made that she would a pay and blue grab. So these factors from all these three parties, I feel like it plays a lot of challenges when Micholka to school there, while a chicken lu a dick and being to at the end, while a naked can meet bell discourage on the way, Jan could be made Jan could be chilla twin. So Kaga quickly Kagaba Kalwell, which Jenga Koga Bakajapan. John K. William, we got bent up.
Hey, and I thank you, quick. Yeah, and we quite high, take a ping. There are a number of challenges, not one. It means quite discouraged from Australian education system. But appeared very yapping from the very people that are involved in the system itself. They have seen it all. You ping, but they have seen it all. They work there. So Ian Kuala Ben, a question, the same question. Yen in John Deng Jog Yima Konjabo, or Dr. Abu Ben Guru question again. So John Deng Jog, the challenges facing our migrant or refugees kids in Australian education system being about jumping. Kuja Jagaping. Now your turn. Baba level. What do you have seen about these challenges? Which jam number of items? Which jam about age system? Biden, where all of them will be categorized, which a local and quite tung yin, irun, but yin, which is tung in educational level. One of the items, we jam about curriculum system that is not designed for us, who are migrants or who are South Sudanese in particular. We also jam about the parents' responsibilities. Give a man who are back, man who are tower, let to cool it. Lord drop, and then you take up the kid, drop. You need to share what's in the back. A parent's responsibility about checking out where the kids are up to with their work. A quick about cultural identity. Midqua. Reality to cool, Kawai Koi Warbo, a Pan Junub Sudan in particular, Chiman Tower, Yin Tukula Igukor, Aki Walkor Igukor. But Biden to pull you call. So in John the Jog, Barbara, you will getting a quick tell us what are the challenges. Take it away.
Hey, and for the Jagin challenge, Kuchin challenge. I chin to the Chidong way, a bay, on Ching look up your probable. Yenakabo Lutin Lakin, Kajuja, Kuja Chicken. A Cabera now Quanco to win, better be like your baby chopping, a go belly, a girl, she made a did. But Kakaka went okay issues. Kuka kuna jogo broken down on to car baby wow. A cold day alone. But a book try book summarize. Yeah, the education there pan in the cabana golf by your dogi ben be tanto education system de Finda Africa. Education pan in design based on well-being. Tanto quite get cool like a check one. Quite get cooler chi pure narrator chin kaya be loy college. Chirane corbe pi. Go curriculum de pa go loy. Chan be tang to quite thin. Be domino. Nothing to hear education system chin loyalty from primary a good high school. Ye na chi modified. Away win be chiran don't way. Chan ranaben. Ran chỉ đi tới phim khi mình nói về nghe nông nhìn đấy, cũng như tao hóa cho nông nhìn vẫn đặc biệt, con nông nhìn vẫn đặc chế, con nông nhìn vẫn thập phim, và đặc chỉ cái lối chân với nhìn đồ này là một cái thôi chỉ là một cái thập phim nhỉ, với cả có mà đấy, agora nó vẫn còn nông education, chân education ấy compulsory bài thế này, cái nào lối của lối cả bên lối nhìn thôi cái nông coi chỉ cái trang vậy, vậy là yêu cái education này chỉ là nó bên là chỉ tao thì when I you move a high school, canong a pathway chica provided. Kukaban jam tinama. Can a lawyer, yeah? It can be retention rate. The koi man be that also could be drop. Comparison law Africa, education curriculum at Tewoto. Can I gentleman theory, Lakin Biden, the Chinam Jaktio, Kaying or cases of Angor maintain and see doing Gumtin. So, Keran, when I coin can brand with education you. But a lot of Lamithko, a cheated day. I think you'll use a kitchen education in a lorry. Could you get a meal with a lorry more lobby chinkabella coin cake? Achia too reluctant and bookie wouldn't Iran Berana apply. But in a laben came mixed. Kuncha could eat. Moral to Lamithko. A quarter pay. Can brand gum that can make below a quarter. Miss Yotosukuli maintain Miss Diaka Miss Ben along the age. Quite chica fagation on big a Kujalo High School, letting Kujala Ina Jaka thing in high school, do to the Koyo High School, then a on Boka he con law security a coaching effect. Age gap. But Miss Yoto system you maintain ato right age. Kaila okay, classic based on a tiny talk, can make a log elo kinagari get over from one. Could love forever to get it. The lay one to get the term. It in auto system. But key system can you call for promotion in a talk. I think I have a local example, you can remember take a pay a cheat. Creative a Minaga promote. Chichingi Chak lawyer class, you can work at a class. Take it a regular high school. Can walk along the way parent. So cool a little bit, lad me up in 20 minutes at least. 20 minutes at least. Every night. I go now can a book. Can relationship do in a book? Very important to limit. When I made pure can be up every night. I go that relationship go build. Go me check out a book. But music or check alone, I think we can buy a book like TV. Run it up. I can maybe have a year gap. Year one. Now year two. Another one have a year gap better low. Can I year three? Can 1 year gap. The same you build on here. Now you're a high school, you can't year. The same thing, a very low high school. Can a different environment. Lela high school year 7. Kule gol, Kalapola Tatin which Chibaya continuous kind of learning. And then a cabenang maybe 3 months. Gap behind Clade. Abijala build on like that. Can I year 10 me at the Jola Pani subject when the loy? Okay, already made a chidang maybe 1 year or 2 years gap. Okay? A man, a year 12 but loy. Can a kin gum can be a Louis. Kubai didn't can I examine a problem. Okay, by so long as husband keep on a calendar loy individually. Can I buy man up a buy a cool? Which I use to cool it by dinner. The carry is subject like your ass. So system of education I should law can bring me because I told so cool. But I chimney go check your quay law. Along the meat can long the meat arching a commitment can bring a law. Now you long the parent with your ben. Keep parent at all. Why you go education on email to what you school but I got in a system to buy it. The king can't buy it. Education the fine a yen made 25%. The king 75% I could know the man. You know, token thing, when we up and buy. A buyer, yobby. You will him with cool libraries. Can remember that library. Kubayakun. Kuba, but that relationship on a yen. Buyer tea, young lawyer Kulusukuli, young Tukulu lady. Now, no, Kaloy Kibialo. Buy a part of school, key a parent. Then can we make everything that he and a chant a token a parent. Kukibaluel in a clear and he'll in a email. Can I tell you, loy? Kid the first time you know within a video, like the king me abia used to it. Can I hear used to it? Like a kilo, actually loy. By a lair gun win quen. By a lair is for the activities. Can be that creativity be attack a pay. Can I hear the kito was in co parent to buy it? Cooking a year ago, I say one, you know, okay. Along the parent, I say along the student. But cake parent I can system. The education by it, a kin loy can go quite winner bo, big accommodate. coi uống cái bao cái này cả accommodate cái này chi system cuối chừng người ta đi nó coi nó different education system bên cái này chỉ lúc coi cái accord cái này cho preparation can be welcome in the system we are like cái system bên anh thì anh lui thì nó kỹ cái book bi cái bus của them is we assume that cái parent are the same understanding language is a problem kana na no cái coi su kule cái orang di cái jo got cái di de ku to je bas tu je ba yin me bu yin parent yong mengi ti chứ nghĩ đến một cái này chưa ra được à giờ school cho assume thì đây là chỉ parent chỉ ping có cái parent là cái ping information lôi okay so cái education by cái mình cho nhà school yên để contributing to all factors along the parent along the education system when cái education system đó pa là cái nên có cái bố à cái nghĩ đây anh cái lacking lacking à chứ bố lui design cùng mua tin à cái time về lối chẳng biết cái assessment về lối cũng biết cái communities bố yung lacking the lacking à có cái lacking có giờ có lấy curriculum à có curriculum có là design way win ben có giá coin cái giờ thằng anh tin này ai school giờ đến phải đấy thôi có người gì là giá school school thằng bài đấy nè anh không get anh không school quên anh không school chỉ quên school win no resources cái để ô research cái lối để chỉ cái đến phải tại điên mi tổ school nên anh không problem đến cái lối cái đến win cái parent cái mi cái engage ai lối school yên school thằng anh tin chúc ai có lối không parent ai có engage cái giờ problem chúc là you want a language school có tàu à to under education system cái resources they don't have that connection kind of parent agongi yung non parent ku parent ku ko ni dia go misken be ka support akena ali school ka ge so kil be bay kan be ko nya pede be ben be lo ke policy lo government that yen community siben ku education system kini design thina chi lo kan ke this is what we going to do disengagement ela lu ti chimet ti chen to ke
yani John chora brief what a benefit disengagement question about it.
Thank you. So kikina ye na a lot of practice we ko kina a ngai na lu ko le wa we ka ko la ye chol ko ke le long di da pai te tin bu le we ka la bu le we but the ka won non ka ba William ka ba le ka lu mi za fa ke so kule long the parent ko long the education system itself ko jola mit ke gup ken ke education a ke lum ke pir ke lum bas ke for fun just a compulsory so they have to do anyway but actually compulsory kare ka chilati
yani John den jok ko ja ko wien den a chugale male anje na ren ga ku ja ko gorun jana jala ja gari kan piangtin but now it's corrected yen we koy da we le jike ram ja ben man Dr. William Abur abi jalle wo chu ping ben tong nyan kai da ku ji jam challenges ke lui ga face ku le pen ga question en tiku kaya ku je le challenges aji ko John den joge le challenges aji ka chi ga le ben collectively kids or young people commitments to education by the kemi kwa avoid so me that me when and me cooking that energy a big guy engaged in education another challenge so relevant a language barrier so parents alle koi kenen mis akin tong pia when be ke ka chi gar ke o wore ke gar mi be ke date japot yung yelwel what are the requirements wore ke ta bang message that's it but what is it exactly that you have to do kana chiralwel ke one of the thing yento der chiralwel kwaje kon mention wunia yen mis parents responsibilities can are very important we can check what is up yung ko be me loy what is needed what's required be me loy kuja cultural identity can mi ko actually confused calm down the way Sudanese, you migrants, you Africans, and you name it all. ku Australian. So yin Dr. Abur, yen a question of a job and tongue man. So yen jipping, tongue sister quick, kutong brother John Deng. And now I check a thing. You have listened to them, you have seen it all in a number of articles check go about this issue. So what is your view? What are the challenges?
And thank you, Brother Philip Ajak in Challenge Fay, Pursa in Chayagan, Kujala Akwich and John Deng were at Challenge Fay, overview and Chagam in relation to challenges Luyawa community face, especially in education. These are the true challenges. I can book problem, but Drazin Ran, Banyai, I can but deny, Kuba brush under the carpet that Kachin Kawan and Tow, in Levi Michela Benjal. Michela Ato, Rani Kadia Kadiak, Kidman Chuaga Ping, along a parent, along education system, and Kujala Miskwa. Ato Michela Sin. Bijal to ten ok bugloy kidi taban opportunities kagato chirmen taban education by ten chi ko jitil sin chin mo won chi John chenen kwanyich chi lobi we bi ran til sin ba chi la to college ina la to college and it will be up to you kayi manabun wala kayi paran when in the manabun ten bag utilize kadian katoy kan bag education system mento baga benefiting from it in which way in biwegen loy kayen kabian ka jam sin taban mis kwa akin motivation we kai kwa motivation aliu and that motivation ato in both side ato tenemis lonadi aliu tenemis kwaliu ten faran as well shit ma won ki waga ping tene yin motivated banang motivation regardless of whatever challenges get to in the system kayin alabake avoid ke problem one ke to alabake pol ku focus on kudun when any kiadin tin aneng randa ne chol mong along bar kadal chol mong aneng ran lui paidit yina e cham pai wala whatever kayen chila wow na le wow kala kadang yok la te chi mi toy tin pai I think a su wala whatever na le yo go nyu tin ku go nyu te den won te den won to cham tin go jal tie choli de ngoda chin ba ben bi a nyu tan chi de cha da ngoda ken tok te won le ko tin ko go le ani chi bela tin ko ga chi ran le lo ku bugla la lor ko go le ani chi la lor ko la yan ken cha dan ngak ini nyu ken cha di kedi cha dan cha yok so cha wi ba pal pur sa en kedi so an brer tim ni en chok kedi cha yok so ten o ga ba o chat most of us are keen opportunity war bu ko ila to college especially parent or kele because of war tong wen chiro loy pa ja ke dang pursa bu ko ila to college tong chi ko ja jaw kuna chi ko ben den ku yuk school ka pursa ten in ran when yi paran balek mando ku le mandia you know what o ken bi ok tan chuk yok kuna chuk yok ka chuk lo buk ba pol ka wi ba loy pet ku buk la big buk dan wi ku tan buk yok palki ma chakal ge ka taw mum ku dunen loy na chogra nang i twin taban medel bi twin man kawaja or le bi usas twin blackun bere ka kwana ya ton kawaja ke shol races wala discrimination ato ke ka lakin na de ku dun kiadin ke kiadin ku ngi ka le bake ga boy ke kaka. This is a conversation. I want this conversation to take place at home with Mando. Ka yi faran. Taban me they met. She love like bu college. But nang education at home. Bob Mando ba for fair. Broad handle kadi at the school when there are some difficulties. Ke chiben. Whether a teacher in German, may they be a clever, be man for some reason. And a teacher can give that kid a hard time. Or only be manang man class kating ku ole bright fio ole be michel ole bro loisin kuna kai for fair kai mandu kai for fair how to deal with some of the issues at the school, how to create the boundaries and handle some of the boundaries at the school ka wo wato michel. And in case example lebaloy taban a migrant ke benten one of the women from Vietnamese she came akaba boat on their big this lady came achiben boat ke moinde ku jala karang ku boku dis misken bokule chila cherga blue taban she had no choice she she has to work. So tingene chila ku jo lui we can see a kalo chinyande chipioch to ben years in a tutoring school ku lui support kia. And what ku to good man jamok. Na ye war 4 years ago nyande to Melbourne University pi medicine. So nyande just to medicine ku jag graduation nyande jalo je nyande ko chol ku good man ko ja jala ga kedan de chi graduation chi jalo graduation ceremony chi jalo ko ja interacting you know kayen ting di de ja nyande ja bios yo so ka nyande ja jam go ko ken won ngi kek taban you know uh, ka story e jalo el chi nyande jalo moz ko ngi jen ku jal moz baden ka jok de kwani tong den that this is what I have done. Ka jo nyande jo sharau ten ok kulel kene ma malwel kin. So at the end, many of us felt that education in Kinyanti in a sheep, China graduating from medicine, from this thing did because lon chi thing did loy, chen wo ken kalui and here guide, you know, because use bien ka nyande pyoch, kubinyande to that level. Most of us felt that this, cap down there, this woman, this old woman should wear it. And we were like in Yantin, you know, education can more. It is your turn now to look after her. Kubaloy. Yeah, what quick that's example that we should as a parent of the migrant or African or Sudanese. These are the example that we should take. Alubukalom, kake simple example. Be oka karudguir system by ten. A system very slippery. Ganichi John Chukwani Piat kega quick. A very slippery. Na kuiloy kachit kada achit kada bamya wala kada kudura na cham kada kudura ku kuy kudu game bay lo yi chen karyogin chete de
Yeah.
karyogin but na cha kudu ngi yendal fyat then you will go out clean and you will enjoy your food, right? It's the same thing in a to system by it and a very slippery tamam can na kuy loy kayin a riedway sin ku wadu yi chen baden chin ma won chi John chen en lwel me dile busog high school ku tega chin kangi ku ke ga mis woni ya frustrated at the end they don't have hope to go to university why Kegla University while they are struggling from high school ngul biran jaben motivated lagna la ka yija la ti education ko je bios yok aya ko won when you get used to but get used to and then you can enjoy kayin by school by enjoy a chin good thunk again. You will enjoy babiot yogen karang ke ga ko research like researchers you can yara pay. They spend most of their time. You would find somebody working, you know, in the middle of whatever back finkuler, but ideas can karang good because it becomes their life. They enjoy it. Kiting work kai kwa kayen support your child, encourage your child, motivate your child, kayi parent. And parents should also be motivated. Don't have a, you know, don't be discouraged. Duro do chol you discourage kulele man kachin ka baloy kunayen dato ena na kuitok kuna kuitok dato ka kuit ka baloy. No, do your job kayi parent. Just say, you know what, I'm a parent and kuanan bulondi baloy ka a parent. And then miss, I have a conversation sometime with my son at year 12. I mean to year 11. And sometime I said, let me check your work. Cholan ting katoidu. Ka yoga and especially during COVID-19 kan. Kalwelo no one chin garang kalwa no. Let me see your timetable. Let me log in by your timetable. But ting. Ngoyin why in anin tinga yilu kwa school time ngolo kwana na loy londi. So let me go and see the timetable and then sometime oh you know it's a free period. Kalwa okay. Challenging timetable. Now we bringing baden kalegen hang on, give me a chance, and a parent I'm doing my job. Ka parent. Tit nala misku, eh? Wait for your turn. To let misku lekek ben yakushi which bako kuting. It will be your problem, my friend. Lakin now, uh, give me a chance. Chalana loy lundi ka parent. Don't deny me. Achan balondi by chilo ka parent. And he which you know one channel well in a very calm manner kapelot thing kube adonyen a fellow thing go jo do danyen galo what are you talking about kala yes and loylundi and he would be a deny. I don't want to be denied. I have to do my job apparent. I'm a dad and I have right to do you know my job by you pure na shi mis kushika pure chika shi jam ka well you know what it will be your problem kay misko kwache problem di kay so this is a simple conversation very and they get it he get it even the younger one they get it and they look at me you know I think what color yes and he will be a deny the same thing the same strategy simple strategy take it kubaga bagloy ke miskun kayen and bukoy tan ani jamret tag Martin, but most of the challenges actually quick John Achikalwell few things that we bakarat shukran we actually
yen we viewers we educate you would die ke we ko bula die le yen jam man the apia dare nen ka pia cha ga ba ping le be nge ke ngi pande but a ja kui ngi pandu nan nge pande ya so this is why you want to show ke che uter kon to tu kule kwa jimi la chi tin ku ka ngi ke be ke ni ka chi ga la ai evidence ngi ke a chi ga tin kwa chi ga ping so chi be ak ngi jitok yinge je mo tin so na chan ke le ke ko to on tonight today Dr. Abur ko ku John Deng a chu ga le question number 2 we was up we ko to on the panel today yena chu cha ga le ka ji myth come disengage to kule language barrier to get one of the thing yen it's great support when your parent you loy because due to language barrier chito with I parent actually big the work of children big check on daily basis bringing you what is required they may loy I live to around your parent but I can capacity to do that you don't do it ikaga chaga highlighted kwa chaga lwel kaji jai age system Biden in me group according to the age system is ben the newly arrived actually quite a Biden okay, one of the challenges chakalwel e ka given you team collectively question number jati we man kiman ngi waka kuja cultural identity chemi chika we lost between different cultural backgrounds ko we ko chito in ko we educators how can we help disengage young people get money pacha disengage from his education how can we help them to pursue their careers based on kichaka team mi ke chai disengage education a chime chit kulchikam bugo kwanyudi can be agogre ko ki la them ra lo bin tupuli but there can be another way ko educated can lela utat kujabun e ko e kero ke ayen pinno inge pin ikaken kana bunera ram ko long ko kan ko la tong nyali ibu tong ya ku ta da ko ti kana goran go pide go ngi ku rande bla ko so ko we ute e mi ko chai disengage tupuli how can we help them bugo ko nyudi kana goran pide la ko pirande bla ko question kiri yen ba yin jonde a jaben jonde ka kujo ben ku be Dr. Abur bla ben but the third question ba jaba gol Dr. Abur
e yana fata jagi chale jage chan chawo be thi question kan aberana bayal abenga lo mutun ku be ku balong be fola go nga be la ber yena ba lo long de disengagement ngete baber yongo mi chalo disengage ku yongo le ko chan be ya coming back to studies yen chanu mel blue disengage ache ra golo banait era golo ma ko ku jolo bu jolo dit agutu be mel jolo ku jolo disengage anong sani ko nyot ki parent chan be men blue disengage kitwen mel ku niya school ki disengage man chi taw but met ku chi committed chan be school be loy kid the next level bela tine chan blue disengage ku tira gal tine ki education met baitene accord these three parties can be glue together okay parties kage yen met man lo school kun kana mana ka diden ku jula school yelatin yes teachers along in a yega loy not 100% but long in a yega loy kay di angi jiman ye man nongen ke yen yi chol chan bin to for interview chan bal la jam when ke yen be la le yin yon wan met ke ga loy long den ke wo parent chan di ra galtin med ku che londe ku che loy be ben ku chok krepin ku le tv chok ke wo parent ya ga ngi mit a chin ta me ke to ke chin loy ke lon school chi to anon class wo ke loy ku ka den homework ke loy so man to ke a che free ai loy ke na ye loy a ye loy school ku den ka ye be ba na chi met ku chi loy ke dia ku chi ko dor kablo ka ga ngi lona kor ko de lon be ko be mar loni ko de lon be ko be mar loni ka be ko dor especially an jam long high school kaka primary ke ga more of the work you lo classes ko lo dia ka ga ler ba ka ga lo over some weeks maybe 1 week ko be just submit but kina high school marathon me done so kana ko ye go le 7 an lo ke chi subject ke thir ko dia ko ke subject ke thir ko dia ben ako subject kan nang londe ko subject kan nang londe ko nang homework de ko de class work de kana e ma won che loy ke doi gol ku che loy ke doi tul ka loy ka ke ka doro ko na mia tang ben je lo na chi khang be lu ka bi lo thun ben londe modified chan be londe be ja pya na chi loy ku chi jori el ka chi ye be lu ke bu gol e be lo so ku be ya le ku la chi twa berra cha ki blo school kene one sign ke parent chana ko bangi na chi di chi cholo school ku le bara non ko bu ban me da non issue non academic problem and all those things ku chilo ke kina chi lu miss teachers will move on kaga bu yo lu accumulate teachers are trying chan bu long den bu loy ai chol ke parent chan balong do bala loy ku bu la le yung loy ka go ben loy bai me da ja escaping classes le blo tenen da jo lo ko lu drop e man jo tenen lo lu drop a che man ye school la man ar yu chan blo school chan blo ti lo yin ke lo na kana loy kitina jo lo ko jo to na era le lo yin che busy kita da one week go take lo school maybe one day a week and I am kuman yen leader man yen dung bai che leader bai hello outside so kenne one of the problem to work ko we South Sudanese community ku joga migrant ko we parent wo ku sciences ku woni mi ko disengage why wo kereta ko e party education me wo no high expectation can be man the yes but you have to work for it. You have to work for it. Achieve by a local yin car, yin car, loy. You have to work for it. Loy may support. Ye jamani yen yung one. Now I mean the real. Kachi ye tell a day. Chilu struggling. Kujoka la panya chanako ye to ko ye loy chana ye loy over 2 years a year 11 can ye to. Subject about panya a chingy. Now I mean a joro la chiel to not cream a villa. A benumagir. Baku ke parent that you will ye we pathway do so long dit ato kana walk ko a parent or book communication or book bi kam kamit ko buku chok lam ko chok kui chanang ye ba iten a china family chok into ki kui language chin ra ro ga yin ni education mena wa to mena no to malu ba chor ku boku ye la gen ku le kana no anen kare ye tinga ki loy mendi bar kana jobo loy mi ba din ku chora na mena ran ra yu a chiban jamba de lo ya problem do ne so long aba je pali William but disengagement yang ti ra gal tin ka ken ini fer ku ja chir relationship do ne me bangi yang lo me andu ke me denga lu yeto ku me demet a chin motivation ni mo chan ko lo so kana ko ba ngi ko fer
Thank you, John. Ram Benwani. I could the long the balwell. With Quantia disengage along to cool. How can we help them? Who can you do? A can question. You've been something. You have seen it all. Me then you get disengaged. But yes, actually I disengage. So you quite one. Someone channel will. But quite pay kujabun. Rồi đến kuja doctor the chakawan. Rồi đến little talk. I special people. So I think we disengage from education system. Kebu konya de quick ba.
Yeah, so Juman wunchi John Jogalwell and a Baja Juangnum, but any support and can be made, but that support system up here the pie. But that support system at home, Kusukulich, APIAP. And that thing here can in terms of engagement, made them. Can we can blue open up to the myth because I feel like woman go South Sudanese community will got the gap between Kamkwa Kujana Kam myth. We have a big gap that when she walk Ogachi lu collaborate wala bulu krang work to commit can be dead young low mate cookit can Benjamin on she overwhelmed. But meet themselves here, I would chamber meet because I motivated. Kuya made the gigs of a we below. Can bring it yen a one low. Queen but sure about it, I think Ogabla through in the Kadan in a cajol pathway, Kranka. Can pathways from from year 12 and onwards, can book a team because those areas tend to be that Louis disengaged. Chan from year 9, year 10, kubijala la because in gap distant chan we met bijala year 11 and 12. Chanake got the 2 last years one. Be made jating a VCA below what pathway below taken. So kutene to ngijin chan to deg that support system. Kwe jam, kwe ideas ka go jam it from the beginning or rangi we below in the future and all of that. Kamera below keep engaged, keken one low, chanekan one banyar. Can be both parents, kegumit, be akan one week below in a quancho kwe and Louis support. But sometimes work parents or Latin boga could do one which be I and low mid in a era and Luella can a witch and Baman mid could tag num de, tag Hila Belio and a kid and Jan tag to which you made be a science while a ye gran. Biala Kim later on will be a long other subjects when the bacalua taken from that. When a continue yani man do perform goody. Kuyo kalu support, but ting ngo impia then kene niare ngo. Chan the low made gonna win near kwe and quancho kada more chances when the ben Louis succeed. Instead of gonna win chi which kwe and median kalu discourage straight away. So when it so support system, kujana making sure gonna win in low mid, you gonna win near, who lose support, kuting a which pathway and believe. I man win tell you like a chicken and got you VC achilo. Okay, cutting it yeah, then the other ways chimney yi krang chimen dan vet low wala billa krang all these other areas kalibuting you know in here. So kayen but in order to do all that it can be parents being it exactly being it pathways options being it in available to man do incapable of doing. Yene tenane yok tenele bi kalu keep engaged in. Kujana support obviously in the school. Buke galu support the school e chimane won krangata tin ay kalu offer school. Ke ka kane ko chol homework club. Ata tin jana man when we support jamblu work on the krang ka support the tin buke galu support with their work. So these are ways when ane yok galu bi kamidalu encourage jan ku bi rare school e bi la twinkle London.
Hey, and in Chula, quick, and Dr. Abur of Jaben, the same question about disengage young people from schools. How can we help them?
Yeah.
In Dr. Abur?
Yeah. We got viewers, audience, we got to village again, Kujala in Philip, for the, who is the host of this show, Kujala, my colleagues, Akuch and Jones, we are college. Now the question is, how can we support, the disengaged young people? She got Jamson. The reason why they are disengaged is because ke gaji threat. Achi tukul, achi yoglona dia religious pay, kwaji chen hope, rani chen interest, bubana participating in a school, or sometime kanikaloi, they form their own small community. I call it their community. So achi community da, achi been associating ke parent, kwache associating ke school, I small there is small community ke la form, and that community danti ala bi ke rod yoksin bi ke cham bi ke lui ka kan chi ka tak, ala bi ko cham sin drug, ala bi ko de gu miauzin, ala bi tong bi e loizin ke ga ma jumo a ke yok now ato sijine yan miska ato sijine I bolis kala ko yokek kachiro low why she can break, they become they are doing antisocial behaviors ko daman nang alabi kaya na labi ke match. It's not a easy job. I can baran when cha disengage ko bala bay ba yeg hope ko ba convene ba bay bena ba ko won wujen ba ben loy it requires you to do a number of steps. And then approach, in other words, the person with psychological orientations could be oriented properly, could be be quitting that group den one in chat again in a group one chat disengaged group which individual support, as a quick said, which in Bamanduba supported individually, and you have banang a very tough, I mean, not a tough conversation, but it has to be, a very soft and tough conversation. We in other words, we call it a tough love, you know. That conversation she which banang baya too high kwachi pal kudun win with balwell with bakon bin lona di, this is what we need to do to support you. Bakang rehabilitated na chaya rehabilitated but then kachi gam kachi dedi lona di guru mentoins in the wrong group, and therefore he has to step back ko be forming another channel be in support in the chinen leutan kalas ka yini ja koka ja katao cuman yi, whatever support and by again through education and we are going back to we are going back to school, but gap when we feel we tutoring we in command, by encourage by like you create a hope, and we in by involve but we ke college school command begin begin acting on adi in it out and all the time katoide. So it's a very tough work in that area because yan until in the field as social worker I work with youth. I know, in places such as Parkfield in Melbourne, if you go, in Parkville in Melbourne, prisons, juvenile detention center, you will be surprised to see, a good number of African young people who are disengaged, are ending up in such a such situation. So, Elon did it. We jo command ko community, community we need to stop habit or creation loan for granted. We don't need to take things for granted. We need to learn from Majumo or parent when facing some difficulties. We can't just say, a parent can you need to take that lesson and apply to yourself also chan prevention baloy, so that it should not happen to you. That's how you learn. So you look at it and say, it happened to so that family, so I need to work on it now so that it should not reach to my door. Huh? Try your best kubalwel ken kechating ten or kwar loy parent ka kacha which brought loy tenan. I have to do my work now. Chan buken brought choloy. We kai kwa is a big challenge to know mitkwa. We have a good number of them that become disengaged. They drop out from the school. I engage in antisocial behaviors. Graduate, which has put us in a very difficult situation in Melbourne or in Victoria, co-African. If you look at our culture, is not that bad. It doesn't really encourage the crime. War there, you bring the shame to your family, you bring the embarrassment to your kwadun or latene koikun. A chicken near tenwa. Like in man, they do it. They can do silly thing at your shopping center, and if you tell them chicken, they laugh at you. I'll be getting a dam that in chicken. So they take it katoy. lumki ke jok ko kuch, you know, there are some bigger consequences that are waiting for them. The chogran cho lui charge, you know, daman koren kulen la neng 18 and above, you know, ke ka ko ka le biga pop up, will be denied from getting a job. It will deny you from getting some other opportunities that levake yok. So kaka piat buke ga discuss ke miss could be miss bikangi lonadi kaloirot. But then another topic which was you know daman one it nengran chebe nial I think, and it became sensitive matter. People were criticizing katoy. You know, if your child is disengaged, she participating in school and is not even engaging with you at home, ku yin opportunities yin man overseas yin man in the parent in Kenya wala in the parent in the I mean in the relative in Kenya wala in Uganda. Think about it in this way. Is that good really, Mando? We are suffering in a juvenile detention in a life in which, well, do you need to open your to sacrifice a little bit to say, you know what, Mangan, I better take this child to overseas by years in Africa. It will cost you, you know, will education being in a town school take kashi biga will compare to the way that being are suffering emotionally and psychologically. So think about it in this way. Why don't you take that child, you know, those boys and girls, take convene them and take them overseas, kutauke school, and then you convene people, your relative or other people that can be looking after. Na chi jala to high school ka jala bay, jala dukten ka ben la. They will understand by that time kacha grown up, will be understand pire kini, will be jamade, will ben loy properly in mangan. It's all about trying the opportunity. Let's not take it in that way. Lebran benten, bubento in this life, you know, karba ko ngoben ko create ben ko ben dokten. I don't think that is a good life. I can mandu bijato, you know, like Parkville. I do think that people suffered a lot psychologically. I do think so. As a parent or a relative who go and visit, but young people come I do think that there is a lot of suffering there, a lot of pain. Kayen, anenka juej mafruit, have a conversation with expertise. Talk about, you know, what is the best way for me to support, you know, to support my son, my daughter, and all this, you know, is a confidential conversation. But then do we do ke advice koyer wala koy kwanto ten I keep piadaban, you know, and in koy win mantle they don't want us that to book up for progressing at all. They want us to keep us that level, you know. And in classes in society, you know, upper class and middle class and also the lower class. Eh? Ato, people like me, for example, you know, in a jam at a lawyer, some people who are oh, this guy came, you know, these are the people that came from Wharton, Bawartan, and is now Katoy. So how did this guy made it? You know, and then Koila be excited that I have made it, and then Koila big, you know, be TL Kadom that this ngoshi kochire kachike when young majal biga using this you know opportunities biga progressing, but that is their problem anyway. So so be careful with whatever advice ten mando yok tene kawaja nairan won chejen wing a deal kede ma look for another alternative, find another alternative. So think about it in that way. Bagyalo ken and bukoiten ko
Now we're quite on the panel. Could you quite die? yen a chia good show as always. Conmen hard rock show aka we affected contemporary issues guy go discuss. Yen kukega lui ko on the panel we discuss iman pay. Yen about what you don't want couple of questions. Whoever go call and I aim not to do long shows. So at least an hour and a half or I was actually a kim and actually a game. So I was an hour and a half level. Eka kin gola to the couple of questions ke jidung. Eka nen comment given on the Facebook. Kirani cholwal denga wan ke god. Yen achi directed tong Dr. Abur, but ale will comment ben. But question chaga gor aja agala la bala gola quick. So quick in get next, but before that, let's let us address this question given on the social media. Elwal denga wan yen at US around to US. So
Okay.
one of us. But a question to go about Queen, word for word. Actually, how can we help vulnerable families in such situation, Dr. Abur? Please answer. So, such
Yep.
situation, you call Galil, example, Bay.
Yep.
If a child is disengaged from school,
Yep.
what you achieve coaching interest for Louis, came and killing the family then, a cheap family, both what you live call white.
Yep.
What you live there, big letter was see.
Yep.
How can we help those families? I think a question in poverty. So, but bearing Dr. Abud, Queen, a quick could job women comment on that. Who jala bend back to the questions. Okay, talk.
Yep. That's a good question. Brother, I challenge for his participation online. Question and GTH is a good question. You know, as a society, if you look at our culture, go African, you know, Damantarons, culture that a child is raised by the community, which has changed now. But war there, human you war in Mugok, in I de kicha watch, kicha loyalty, my uncle, aunties, koi kongijwa, koi kongijma, they will be responsible to support, to then support when where the advice will be legan or support when will be loy. So all community, we have a role to play to support vulnerable families. But vulnerable families are support in this way because of what are in different culture. It's a culture that say don't get involved. The Kairan and Kayanin invited into his or her affairs. Bulwel Bukarang problem that we discuss again, then you don't need to get involved. The chogin thing, you can avoid it a little bit. But I want to encourage our people that create, you know, a trusting relationship with people that cannot break your confidentiality. So it can either be your uncle, your nephew, your niece, your what. Such a people, engage them to him. You are really in a vulnerable position. Kalau bakit involved in your case, kulwela karda le and jenang machila ba kawij baga kwan ko kawij bug jamij baga kwan gidi. You know, our community, a very generous community. To be on a deal, kulwela yan and we be a coin, we quite went right and ko man the way, but here is the difficulties that I'm facing. Ko we by yet overseas, wala baloidi. So I ticket a joran. So why you will find individual that can support you. All big contribution, big loy, begin support. Kake koi kunwan ruayin, wala koi kunwan matko, wala koi kunwan kek within a close network. Dun one into intin. Kayen I encourage our people not to be silent. Silent is not a solution. Quite silent when le be in noise le loy on Facebook. You know, balala creating a lot of noise on Facebook could be in problem la loisin. No, I want you to be, you know, approach, be responsible and approach people that can support you. Identify a key people they will be coin could big problem doing and big address. It's the same thing apply to the community that community we need to be, you know, this is all our responsibility, all of us. We need to help one another. Piet Buguruda Kony, and let's not worry too much about what is happening overseas. Overseas, it's their time. Until until they pad up, big kang lui. Problem then bugla address because ato in a stage that they don't even listen to us anymore. So why do we keep wasting our time? You know, yes, I'll book a coin financially, you know, kachit kena kuloikan, okay, individual, okay, coin, in a family, they any coin, that's a good work. But we can also help each other here. Kubuk kajuan bugro tambich, kajuan kaito in a difficult, you know, a vulnerable position. Uh, Vulnerability, you know, vulnerability also is good. Um, there are sometimes you need to, I can bakudun in which bayok, you need to be open and accept the vulnerability. Achi our community, achi gam. For example, if you are a Teneyin Manabun who is doing a PhD, which I have gone through, the law in PhD, for you to work with your supervisors, eh, there are some challenges sometimes that you may disagree with your supervisor on a certain issues. But you know what? You for you to win, to achieve what you need to achieve, sometimes you need to work around it and compromise and build, you know, build around there to come to the consensus. These are the skill that you need to learn sometime, and the way that in churut gam ka manabun you accept rather than bomum real loyal, you know what, in supervisor can, I think your view are completely different from my view, and therefore I'm not going to accept what you are saying. You need to find a ground, and that means you accept the vulnerability kayi manabun, kubalwelani manabun, but I will try, you know, to achieve and work together. I'm not saying accept what they say, but I'm saying you need to, you know, but humble at some stage bakarang baloy. Kayen message teni kai kwatu to tow in such vulnerability situation, try to be humble and seek for help.
Yen Dr. Abura Chule, we quite die, we are quite on the panel. Yen comment when Chagi AKG been on the social media, Chen Kid Chagor, one a couple of questions go well of what catch Dr. Abura Chigalil, Akan Kero, take out the main points. We were gonna comment in John Ding in a quick. So Dr. Abura will hear why. Go away Monjang or go away quite right pot. And then you look at reach out don't go right can ye molen ye woolen ye ngad jit ta roi can even reach out ku bi ko ni gudun ci du problem du ñuñ no mi to ka ci le transparent communication ya either alu gën yin or ko reer gën yin banen transparent communication aka ga ci kay le ku question ci ben won it's about how can we help families within lot through a lot through disengaged kids engage question even from social media yen we benen we ba yen at least a minute each can dama belo an ko ba mai gida ka ba bridge yen ya ko ba ya lo at least an hour and a half so yin john ding ba ne comment ba loy ke ba wel quickly kwa cha ku lo ben ka ku bi comment bel wel and then bulo back to the couple of questions you know
Yen ajaga in challenge. Ku yin William ku koi lui participate ku kuch we chake belej. We koi die. na nong cái chiran ping của con bị thi cái ngồi lên ngồi cái thi ra cho question thi nó trả lời cái thứ ba nó cũng nằm lòng để con trả lời là giáo của nó chịu William diễn giảm tin yên này Bible well that that you have to but kuna ja tong cái email yên wo chỉ bên ping pay ping ye lue cứ đu chính cái community better yes chắc có yêu cái tàu bây giờ coi cái dit cái bài cái bây giờ là lỗi chẳng wo cái dit cái culture ye wo pir rot chira ai wo pir ko wo poni ye cái biết wo le kra ja ka yo share di ku culture re pa na cho ka kan yo ku ne ka cha contributing to these issues ka ko ai ka tian ai mi ha tang ben ka jela pin community ka che tang non ka community be le long the mit yoga ku long the kai won lo rot ai che tang non ka community be le ku community da ni na ya le lo ka ju pai even na ka ku cha tian ku de ku chi jela tol mi ka che ka di ku le ka yemu ko lo ye a ngor ko ni wedi na ngor ko yena ngor ba du ku ngor ngor ba ber ko we cha dr bur che lo ko yo kurut yo ran ka de lo chan wo ka cha privacy ba item privacy har yo wo ba item chi ma na dang no na jang kun ku ken le gen ku cha u ta di dang ye ku kan le ba le ku ken le gen kan chi latin bara loy ku na la latin ka ka la mi klai na ye yo ken le ku chi be le ko ye yo ken no ko please doi le at the early stage yimu ko cha community da no wo ro ko ayo ngi ku ka yo ko loy back home ka yo ko loy ten ke ga yo ro ko don't wait until we are too late kende ya burden no community ku community ya ye no mi da che ko ke pa ya ka ko community cha ko ke yo ngor ka to abi ya mi ka be jira nya mi ku wo cho ku mi cho ye ka ko kana che men tu ting da ye na chilu ka doi ra ro ka yi doi le ting ye we leng ku be ba ri ching out ra na bi da ran blangi ran bi ko yen gam ku ko ja to ai cha na ye le wan pa mo yang da di ran to ai no ye le ran chi mi ba da che yen cha na wo chin tem cái tek to a cha ran chi mi yen a che mi le ye na to ai no ai ko le ka ti ko ba ya jam ito ku jo ko di po ke ra ja cha cái chi ko le gam ku da di yen wo na ka lu wo challenge but ko ba ya ri ching out don't wait until we are too late kini community ya no we need to seek for help ke ko un no ke no an ke un bene ra boka ai reir ku jo gom na mi hai chi jo lo bu jo lo wi ka cha too late kina ya ya lo we chan ba ga doi ti ku we ba ko wo no counselors ku el le mo jang le ya counsel chamio cha ra nyam le ra ne counsel ke no an ni cha ta ga ku no ya ni ba ne yira ande ko ye jing le re bit ji e chan bi bela cho bin chan bin kana ai dai ben be le ran mai ai wan chi yak ji ka no ran che ba lo ra te a tir ke ai counselors so and thank you
Okay, you know, could you back to you now? We still on the question from social media when you go.
Yeah.
Funding parents, they can be affected because our child is engaged. They cannot help them to put them back to school or to put them to work. If parents, how can we help? Can you think about bear? We ain't educated well. Ella right take it. Doctor Abur could ding job, let right. And then you don't go meet up, let right again or let other professionals, the big coin.
Yeah.
Could go meet up. So, what's your comment on that? Jala ben question is we inga be goal the acha comment so do again with the question.
Okay, chin mushkila. Yeah, ka kan chi kalwel ka kan chi agree ke ka ba ja martin ya e wadan krang support network atatin ba ita kan. So to chogena lon when riaje ka won community chan sometime ka ja rana lu bi ran le o tega mu bana jam go ngo ku diena bi ta ja bela pin kada support system ta ba ita kan I man do no when we kwanya yi projects a chika lu created to kan jimin junubu win the matter then when le meet ke families ko nyada project chika lu funded for South Sudanese community chan buko coin ku bu meet buko coin so chan ku that project specifically was funded chan bu what engagement meet when it disengage chan buko lu support ke family ken so na ke yo ka community karang ka chin ke dir won lebu coin tin wala rana che gobri ka other support system ata tin kan won lebi ran coin jana ngo which work kwanye which al bigla kuja ibana na li ututu ya ka bi bana lu point to the right direction jana de ko we want to think can be ka lu support le meet le legal system le kag education le kwad create ban ata tin jan ku bin jambi lu support so to goal ke again jiman organization ti ko mun achi ben latin ko achi ben lu funded ninga but our main one to kan jiman ko ngeje nata especially Victoria to kan nata tin yi danong yi Windham kujana yi Brimbank yi Melton so those support system up ya jambu kajala in ku ko lu use chan na e kan won wije chan ba me ba ko nyin anyhow man won ti jali school that to be lu support but how can they be re-engaged again and need ran be lu support kidi so that support is available.
Okay, na which a cake late in John Ding Doc, Dr. William Abur, Kuja Kun Wien Deng, which a cake late for participating. Ian won a couple of questions, which I might too much because I believe in the COVID world, there's a lot of things going on. So Kuja own personal commitment. So which are more. The couple of questions you don't question training in what way. Ian, where educated Simon Channel, and that's why you guys are on the show today. Ian, transition is very important. Can we transition from one stage or from one point to another? A chungi walk aboard the walk Ben Biden walk you transition from Africa to Australia. Now the same thing apply to every stage of individual life. So ko jam about education is cool. Yen ka be we jam ti a transition from primary school to secondary school to TED or to university. What can we improve on this? Can we keto on the field? Putting a big goal. So transition thing, okay, wait, putting man into a secondary school. Here and one of the educators, get your dang job. Dr. Boor, I talk a lecturer, university. But all this along, there has to be some transition. From primary to secondary. From secondary to university. So those transitions are challenges check observe. Improvements. Yeah, so quick.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so Jumadun China well and Kaba, Tikanaka goal, keg meet, they start. The name man won't pour pay, they can start from. Okay, bye, close the door. They can start from say childcare chitulkala kindergarten, kutokun lake prep, which is a kajabela called primary school. Kena and Kuya can be quite in all of this. Every step here is very important. Jamanunchi John Jok Channel en mid can be because in the education system then ella kalanial kala. So what the when you're supposed to learn from the ground to build up on. Kai jala kai lanial until bajala la high school, kujala la uni. But layin what the gap won it at wing. Kanga chika ni lu follow. So it's very important. When prep in year one goal again. Up yet can be any parents mean go quite in then. Can but make sure me the low reading them, me the low alphabet, all that. Janina yeke jab wala dom tok tenu kulu build up on. Adeka wune met kalu miss it and can a chi and gap one alu created. And a change gap one alu created. Kukena did in our community because parents when chile chambrang when well maybe in a busy I share the law and can buy by kamisku to make sure that you're doing that at home. Because learning, actually, to good school, not just gonna learn in school. I can you won't be well low by, and the teacher expect them learn already now, like tomorrow, so Gabby teaching never be low by get already, which is a disadvantage to me already from a very early age. To your twang, which is kind of quite the gang that when you any curriculum Australia is different. We have in the Australian curriculum in general, and then at the natural ELD, which is a education English as an additional language or dialect / which is dialect Aboriginal but language there can now often meet kwa kene to then when a marked they are different because they're a goal from foundation in that system I use from foundation can kubula nyal Uchuman wunchi ogalwel already can meet quatita in Gaira and wunti libala 20 wunchi John Jogalwelakan. They're there to accommodate everyone's learning. So if it's there to accommodate everyone's learning, then yoka disadvantage because it's not actually a glue challenge and to make glue work more. To do anything and I accommodating. Good. Especially man when children came man but English a different language today don't you get that then when a bungy kwa kingi loy well I chingy loy kayin lu mark work do a little modified kulu you mark no one no pin could you gin me the lay lu but that's not actually you're not getting the mainstream work when low meet a the same kadang. So Kene is offered from foundation which is prep to year 10. Who in between that couldn't to term it in that gap, in that mark of getting work that is modified. Mark doing chain already automatically because they are chat in their own ladder. I chat the same mainstream line in chat kicking I chat be different so Kene already a one disadvantage. Queen parent because a candidate ecosystem of which actually jamangi yani mandu kini en low chimane en your good marks ka no low quality chambius as low without asking like too much from you because curriculum in that there's a new for 2021 at the new curriculum low modified now for 2021 next year bugol semester 1. So kukakta tine the way when a yin work doing mark and the way it's rated, the way it's done compared to the other class work. So Kenatan Miko already the fact that our English as second language today Kena ale chan bu says because real chan be kalu mark wala bike ga yiglo wunta numpin which is actually made a Louis challenge. Queen made the Louis challenge. When it joy in them to thin in dom chain. Najola la ye tanica the last and took year 11 and year 12 inch lip jambu work to be banalo modified. Because Kaga the most important 2 years when be in Koto. So then Kabi made a bijating. Since winter no pain a vehicle. Where you vet quay kanu chamela tef ke bukaloy because you need chile below because when minute did a run kagi layan actually belon one low mid winter classic again. And so kene one well in my last video last time that this part important can be quite bugangi. Who curriculum Australia can at online anyone can go who you don't have to be an educator can kubalo access. Anyone can just go on Google, could type it in Australian curriculum. Well, could you allow that to buy your state curriculum, but we type in. Or the other thing could get EALD, well, EAL curriculum, college and bangit. Could you think and farak can we call you content or gather parents one get can buy but bangit and roll be education man so that you can have questions. Now you report man thing, another thing too. Report made that which ambira na low check because me the one work and do modified ETA on the report. ay kelwel ke ay yatin either on the left or on the right hand side on the top it tinin gala ke modified but they were then ogo japu but it tin it any chana lola kulola nyuga nule ngo mani ko loka bile ka tin report it so kan e kan won ku jirane chan bra report man the bial we check ubangi lon man du e kini coming back to kran won ana welken so between yetan ni kaya na ye kay jala tingtinen path won bi man the lu taken wo ga kaka o South Sudanese ka dante o ni me man the school lo kule yoni straight away but what he del ko kaka bun achite woni but can to we in a goal from an early stage chiman go ke go goal men prep kaka latwen ena which am be made pien londe bi en nge ya lo ku yelu support ku ngi dare ci acin ka ko won lu ezelamu de li chiman ka gi ya di ka ku ja ka no won du go londe pen so kene very important ten ko kwa kan bungi gen pathways won le bi man du below taken second to that ya tenen man won ci jala la high school chen to primary ku le high school ku kwa delwa ya di kayin paran le bala tin jamba man du balu support kuting a pathway dero chan mit ko are good with practical stuff ka won le biranga loye chin and all that kumit ko are good theoretically using the mind reading and writing and all of that so awi birana ngi jengu mendu kunena good thing chan sometime ayo ku gole the vehicle the tape the all that right but sometime adami wone na good keke chan na mai mendu vc ala bunom tiok ku chin ka pia won la kai betin ku zamane chu low ways so when I end piat can be parents be kegangi can very critical from year 9 and year 10 we bangi by that time when we man below which pathway in better for them a uni why a TIF well any other krang won bla lu krang bad causes and all that so when I you from all these transition from lower krang very important but from the lower grades from prep foundation to year 10 to make sure by year 10 ange jengu will be mandulo ku branjala those 2 years of year 11 and year 12 be met ka jala lo ka ngi later no so ene kdiena that's my opinion.
Thank you, kuja inchule ram benman Dr. Abur we by jam the transition to observe but you are working on transition from you go from prep or from kinder to prep to primary to secondary to TAFE or university. Yeah, one of the lecturers in Australian universities Biden yung observe how can we help our young people that are transitioning from one stage of the educational system to the other?
Yep.
The challenges and the benefits.
Thank you, Philip, in Challenge. And we jam along higher education. Kujala long high education and primary school. Abi quick kujala John Jogabi Jamson. The transition from high school to the higher education in B and Jamson, which is the university. Now, teaching in la university is a different life, is an independent learning, and there is high expectations. Ye lecturers, ye getao tenin. So transition the first year university is not easy. It's very difficult, and it has been recognized now in Australia. Most of the university, I check the initial transitions year of transition achieve set up because we know Angiku already is up from high school, which is the secondary school, up keke very weak. Na chikben keke very weak. Kujela kaje lonu university jekela semla. The first year yoki karele fai. The second year yoki karele jare. Even referencing, yeki yoke very difficult. Koi ko ending up plagiarizing thing, and it's the system detected lecturers like me you know, to mark the assessment online. Kan ki ai ka mark online now. I check ba mark ke ka toy. I check ba mark ki chit ka dan ware me den ka dang print ku jola gam. So I ka mark online ke en I den system e click online bating and they plagiarism churu loy wala chin plagiarism ka go nyot ka toy, and therefore be the ran le ka dang la yok. So ko wi balwel tine ken jikin mandu tiki en few dad be high school be sol kule jama, please support that person. Loy support for first year be chokang la fin for first year and second year. Yani half of second year ku che the half of second year ka chi ben lui drop out ka ngi ka chi system ka la system ka chi ngi jen ken en ku loy wala what is expected of him or her by the lecturers ka chi ngi lakin de kai first year really ko wa ko tin ko ja lui drop out. They drop out from from university they could initial defer na lor kala viran legi nan chikotoy di chaloi defer ko an which ba chat wala an which ba lui wala an which ba later. No, there must be some difficulties there ran in defer nange law. Yes, you know, you can still work part time kung what ye loy katoy do, but I wish support kubitao ba mandu ba coin ba support because transition I check if you like a relate in transition kayen ku wi ba le community da a wi ba lwel ku lo na cha mandu te chen to high school ku le university ka wijin a wijin ba support wijin ba coin ku first year ba kang tol ku a good second year na ji second year yellow kalas ka jopol ka chol jala kayen an bu ko iten neng interruption churu loy miski adi outen kayen we pursa ba pal ko. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Abur. Then job. In over Ben, what about transition from different areas of education up to higher education. So a child put a chilong the lane, Dr. Abur Chijam, and now it's up to Inga Vijaba Ben, your turn. You were getting about transition. What are the challenges and what are the benefits? How can we help our young people transitioning from one stage of education to the other?
Na for the jogging chale ku William kana ku jo chaga be le ku jala ko dai system ban jam tin curriculum by tin for Australia na ko dai countries ko ga be ke liam but United States I think they are talking the same system to go curriculum by tin na state no curriculum de ko jam to ko to Victoria curriculum bo jam curriculum Victoria yena ga bo jam yen to transitioning in the meat ato ke very big fail ka lo research ko lo yen one of the harder thing ku yen life changing one ku ke challenging ku lon kana kor lon ko ke dien met chan be kin tit be man den below transitioning I fall and from kindergarten to prep, from prep to year one, and from primary to secondary school, and then you're university. Okay, kakidya, I call a continuous support. Achi call beda kaliu kene. When one woman, yeah, kindergarten years, I talk him it. I talk him it, and I have a period. We kill me think a period ABC. I have a period you couldn't your creativity. Can be
Sorry, John. I'm coming. I'm just getting some water. Keep on. Yeah.
Okay. I have a few creativity. A chin letter go in cake. Can I juggle a frame here to joke a creable or goal? A letters looking at the same shape. Cooking add on a check here a goal overnight. There are couple of other lumco way way monjang. High expectation did I want to go to walk a coberan, you pay a toma. Who can't make ting young low. Kuba expectation, but you how you expectation you got out, dig a towel, we met yellow loy. kina kar ba kong lwel chan ba ngi jal bi ke be je jal year 1 yen ka determine to ben to year 6 how you change from year 1 year 2 year 3 year 4 ku year 6 can below high school which is year 7 the more human ngi lu ya pet a good bela year 6 ku la jala year 6 la year 7 ke ngi met from year 5 ku year 6 yen ke chala year 7 lew ku la be met la year 7 year 8 to year 9 yen ke determine that yen man be BC or yen be bika yen pan cha Victoria one on two pathway one on BC kun yen Victoria certificate of education yen a yen loy about 2 years yen ke chara Sudan to la ko ga South Sudan or yen ke KCSE ko Uganda e chayengo e chara kina yen loy about 2 years e loy year 11 kina year 12 but can be you Kaladim Bimbed but Nanking is from year 8, year 9, year 10. In a better time. I check her you overnight. Anong beacon, Jim and Uncha Kujelwe, Victoria applied learning. I took a certificate. I yellow but over 2 years the king with a choice. She take in idea, anong foundation, intermediate Kujela senior. It depends can you win met. Kubelewdi. The Kakadia art of a pathway. Now, you man who could your year 7, just one year, I told year 5 and year 6. Kaka seniors ka primary. Can I come and you man do year 5 can a year 5 you year 6. Can I be you that year 7 along year loy? Man jelly man to year 5 can put your year 6 catching year 6 can what catching a good better year 7 that person that man have no problem. Kaya that took one good. I don't test your loyalty music year 6 year 7. Could test can I inform that them will bow ye week level target it. Pitting in a binatic to God. I can't call curriculum de pana low camera and accommodate. Lukini I use can be like a a test book lawyer can use bill year 7 and on a high shivers. I will log Wilkato. You know, young ping and a choice time. Okay. Or telescope it's a cool cocky. I have a PhD with Kaiga well name sciences, Kujala technology. I'm only come Kujala along the mathematics. A room she don't lay. I brought a bit of your way from year 7 to year 8 to year 9 a bit of Kojala. A lot of Gurumla there. In a bit of Koja don't chain, disengagement of Roger Golden to limit falling behind. Keep from there is in disengagement of God. A bit of man, you pure part. Chugo jal chan kanga jo locally na jamel ku jo ye nan jo tul kien yen a very time and be ye 10 ngira lawyer go kan subject ben kan BC or ben kan bika tla wo ko e parent me da jo wat fat wo chingi da du todi abe me jo benom jo da mi ye 10 yen ko jo poito chan tukul na che be gam tla tukulun pet tla na na wo cha ka char chan be ba tu man du la a che be gam me da lan man bin a week BC yena ye we jela ping bul man jela yong nam ga la ris pore e ya ka nike yena yen ke nike yena yen ke chan bu ngi to ka pe ku chi bul drop ko mana quick man do to ye 12 years but that to ye 12 mo to ka bika wala to ka BC ti ye jela ngi mi azan man do a chin gi chil dio ede kene bela university ku university kina ko pyu chan man do tin lakini na kana support. So a transition actually something bepal mis kepe. Kuon cha ku lele yi. A report yen law yi bere semester. Can report ayaro ruone. Please ye kwen. Teachers anong a report ay law one ko got pay goals. Chimane semester 1. A chiting chimela no one levels. Ku level kage anong goal chika set by teachers. that next semester ke goal ka book met kwen kuting ye no kor chima do dung chien ku ye no chien ngi lu ku ti chien dung chien ye teacher ko book lo di and then lo support na kor point ku ngi tu na jang ku le yo ku point yini kor men do pi chan yini ken pi but a kor chan ba nyu ko e won kwen ago support na no ma nyan ku to man wa mu or cho ga un ku or ar wa ke yini kwen kuna report man un chia ben su kulit ke ye chol bu don yugo pinda kwen ku report man ni you know ngi ku no ku ke report ka ba thon ko parent English as a digital language a issue ya there a ci ben be mane Victoria ke curriculum da yana English ya be compulsory ka teachers mana a fuji ke mana teachers be kan be ngi because the birthing is specialization ay lo ko na ay parent pa ande to man tin ku ye jam tong der ke English ke we mean me the jam English ye jam a day between 65 to 75%. Ku 25% jam tong der pe we mean man kan ye na chi to chi le ta chi le place mainstream English. Kuna ajo you ke man me o un me chi man jo la ye 7 or wherever chana ye lo ya der primary. Kai mi la yo nya ku le yo ne man ye lo nda be amur fa. English ye additional language. Ku ye na dit ba ire. Ye na dit ba ire ku le kin ni jam tong mo nya. Yin me jam tong mo nya. A che jam English 100%. Yi di ter wona curriculum ko korba lo ki. Me da che 100%. I 1,000 semester by semester. Ku nan goal chi ga set. Kana chi me tao English as a digital language kanong extra class very na pure can be to bridge the gap. Can I in that in a man hanong gap in English. Kai yin extra classes can be in future English. Can I la ngi lui it seems like kan ye tin ku lui mainstream. Achi lui support ki parent. E man chini ta wa seems like ni ye will level today. We be dukti na dak seems like we chi be dukti. Can I man won la ngi lui e kan ye tin ku le mainstream. But the more female taught from year 7 up to year 10, ke man kin English to get sata. Kana English you cannot yam ka yi BC. English do ato ke 100% English. However, local ye na English multiplication English yenga ye na wa. Now I keep you BC. Tinim jora ter. Lakin jani ke me wa na chinga me chala di. So transition in a ja to the war. Ko e parent to ye mi la lui fail. Aku ji mi tim ante yin. E ya mi un chin ya le ke yin pionde. Chanu me be peket pet. Ke ga mi la tim nang mi so ko ma high school ko le university ya mi un chin ya le ke yin pionde. Ku ke to ku yo la mi un nong support la parent ken. But I man un chin support la parent ken ko kiran ya le yeri ya le pio ka mi la lui disengage. Kikene akor ko ko mi ra mi. Don't affect your child because you below to che yin in a loy. Now ye language you can yin ki your support or can yin or private tutor can be a bridging that gap. I keep lawyer to not the Maloy yin. Not the Maloy yin.
Ni John I we jam the panels we quite die. A chagating a jam a very good discussions. A kale quite twing. Kill ye living about quine kulum. Kichilu about Paul. Can bu jaben a last question about rail gabe jaben are two questions but I will marry into one. Can ta chilo kida getting a interesting topic. Kuyena chibutu kulto. There might be a benang we are looking at part one, part two. This could be part one. So yen which are keep very long. So two questions you don't have a mark. We got one question, bag answer, and could bring the closing remarks. Bijabeloy and Ikiningi and Braloy. Kuwabla Ben Biden Pan Victoria. Yen and you call a high school Biden. High school always Biden. Yen one nigga down at all. Teach alone a ESL. English is the second language. but man achilo gear actual something else but the man down on actual ESL now one criteria to can balo English itself teach ESL I just about which man migrant in 6 years at least 6 to 7 years which he automatically kilo into English class which kilo into English as a second language aja kuiman can my kids angora kin golo kire angore mod pi ke kin golo to that grade categories so yana ja kui what is happening now can you come and cover it can it to there when can check bad questions ke you don't care okay baba market yen man water in COVID-19 pandemic nga to what in one create been well online in COVID-19 there are challenges and learning challenges le bigito ko we educators ka ke apiat bagale ko ikangun an ko in during COVID-19 lockdown human towards in especially in Pan Victoria there are challenges that people might face because everyone is learning online now ikreto der bag martinia carry advice is back gam ko we educators parents nge mende chwe le mendia abia dictor mendia abia utat mendia abia kene kwa abia kene wills of parents lawyer but ko we educators I targeting the way things are going challenges to in educational system Biden ku ka che parent ga chwe ga pio ku ka yaga ting o ku chaga ting how can we so kipa konwe COVID-19 challenges nga ko na first question on top of that COVID-19 challenges chigi ben ke ke baga ba ber ki che parent chigi chwe media ba editor media ba utat ku ha chi manu gulu what are your career advices baga lwel ko educators ka bangre yino kujim ben a chatso ke jon de ngoben a chi jon de tok ke Dr. Aburo ben ku be guru kene and then ku baga final remarks baga jabel so
No.
take it away.
And thank you. Yeah, tino COVID-19 and kachi mungi yoga na chi community that actually affected. In terms of kodom, especially Bight and Victoria, chiko juja chikodom. Koda koj hunchinin jal, which is a krajapai. In terms of education, chimungi yoga one pat in garden, chimun une ogolwelen going home, getting support by. I had already. But when she jale school ben a ja mad kadang by parent be at a thing ku monitor ku kid I'm very sure very difficult. Kwe hard yet because kajata in unprecedented times. So I check when the big I go pay, but I'm very sure we could really pay 10 families. And especially yeah, and I feel sorry for me. The one get me the year 12 this year, me both the school. Real bad for them. Kaya to cheat ding ye jen ka kene a really japai chan any common ekija madi technology, quachimadi quen and all that chamber parent be got to think who meet bukega and nangin could be London low. Mushkila data thing too was about electronics like technology, laptops and all that. Chan school koka one meet a must and brand num deck laptop day. But in some schools, one of the issues, and I think laptop the to and all that kay real chan I would wear insurance one chan topping could that bella bay be that banner again in school. So kena one of the problems about technologies, but other the cheating again other programs when you windom Junubia bella big bukadang blue provided chana kuma chilatin kulela chan being meet because support the school. So I hope that now in our community, we do want to buy adding technology will be and then be access. Kubran, Kublu, Chana, one of the problem, Kenowa. Another problem, another challenge was about the internet. Because other families, when you internet, you connected by. And so now, being that quite even a bit we are low by and all of that, which internet, better bay. So can I another problem, another challenge, one loaded, but I have been that for some other bundles, one chick low, can like in a USB, young meat, can book families can be meat, because use to access that. I just put on air and bun can every house in the internet. So kega challenges when and obviously be them and teaching again and the meet going to fall behind because there's a lot of work below computer and when new is a very new way of learning. So kega challenges when kaya coronavirus the second question when
Okay, advice. So quite parents, they they want their kids to be doctors, to be lawyers, but if the kids cannot do that, how can they be lawyer? How can we encourage?
Yeah, kene pia chan ba mendu bangi yani capacity de kano. What is engo incapable of doing, kwengo chen capable of doing. Kwene to ngun pia dira na ngun ngi mendu chan ba ngi londe na ngun lo report de eating. You're studying them closely. Kali chan bangi eating ya engo near. It goes back to kuno ngun chakon lwen. Bangi mendu engo incapable of kwengo near chan below. So in dreams kuchanang yajika some parents chan yi ne kudunu wi pure but yi mashakala yi war one take achini rani ke dang low so dream do can live out about education and all of that. But it doesn't mean chan ba be yat on men doing that burden or that expectation. Chan ke num de ner ku kudan will believe a different to can will believe. We had a couple of issues, one can school and especially too, like when we're doing pathways and career pathways and all of that. Parents, we can be made low. Now, but then come the London Tio, which she loves that to drop out, which is a worse. Instead, be no coin be academic when and live below can win. Can be num Tio, Ben can a low stress out. Jana wuchan ba wur ke mo ba ka meet pia kuna chilu angeja chilu but media a lot of stress na ba de ngam tiong nom ko drop out de lo med wala la med la lu ka ken ko le la cha de yer ku le la reda yo ku mushkila ko wadan wone le yo ka chinom tio so ka chirka wo parents chu too much pressure bi ayad meet ku go bi ayad meet ko lu support ke den wone ngi can be in Louis support cutting a pathway in el below taken kulo. Hen park down winch le when a dear on the Balwelton parents, a lady man ye must be acting in low, must be acting in low chain today.
Thank you, Coach. John Deng, Yimben, who be Dr. Aburu Jab, wouldn't question can it? Final remarks, Abagaja Loy.
Hey, and COVID-19 in a chia loy, Chicoy had it. We now you can kill you. Ben like that. I know research she University of Victoria could your other institution Chigaloy, Kukalo, ke long the disadvantaged kids. Me the one to parent can the kitchen resources. Kukalo ke nationwide. And non country chicken Martin you Canada with your United States with your United Kingdom. Chanake countries could be anong koi quanto thin migrant ato thin cook always migrant aya victim to law kunchiban can go to prepare. Kega chiban na research ban yal can kankedi, Kukachi about the jump in China chap which I chang a jam. Kaka color now. Yen gaba chiracha, Charmuta gaba top long resources. Anong we're gonna depend Kayaga yen kega but now big about a China human yibo, chin bung talk, watching ye, chin and other resource top. Go get your material, divide, go chat. Ke Mizumana no music computer use, computer took idea or I am one. And you can't indicate a chill about live. Can I chimney that chica yin, a very hardship can become you know. What's the cool ability one of Pano Kayaka supply and Kayaka supply law? te lo pere won chika identify lakin ba AI only one computer ga yene kana ma era family won on ke dia ke computer to ga yene ga yine we ta de be ben share so ga kana kira cha ke cho material da ba a kira cha ga tene ku ke yiden yen kira lawyer but ye ye ga te lu woti angi ko dar kira cha ga der ku lo ga technology ano wa nó có ja cái này thì chẳng be internet beta ba kubra là bên technology nó how be ngi em như thế ai bu cái tin cái ngi technology ko nang pere won kiro de kinda de daman chan be technology be ngi or a chin ability chan be technology be ngi cái này chỉ mi da chỉ cái zulumu internet ba be setup ku cái wan ka jam ko ji ji cái wan yen le ko ji first lockdown yo second lockdown wa I am talking 1 week or 2 or 1 week and a half or 2 weeks kitchen access to internet. I chỉ mi ra chơi đông chiên, yo cứ hoàn yo tí nằm thán đến hoàn, ye cái đông chiên hoàn sụp cái chỉ cái internet, chỉ giờ là tí nằm, cái mi ra đông chiên thế này, catching up, I have problem. There chỉ là yo there cái chơi skill, to la parent or to la mi, anh đông mi vẫn chín that is skill với cái online material be cái ai yêu na chỉ teacher chắc lên cái đấy có tên cái phụ cái đó lớn kuchi ni skill be cái lôi chỉ ra thành parent chan be parent be cái lôi ở đấy mang cái này đúng rồi cái nào material vẫn yên có cái school assignment cái lôi nó cái submit nó chỉ cái yêu long cái này mình sẽ cái là đúng rồi completely parent support along the can be cái setup be music be cái no yung ba lôi yung be cái lôi aliu la parent gì ato bu ko die na chin min to ni or chin so lôi in cái so long parent support chi wan ta ra to cái week to la parent ko lakini mana chi ko na ba da chi jo we ta ko la again khi long cái contributing em mi cái dong chien adong mi kana prefer won chi le bu cái cái pe chan ma ye waiting online a chi system de education a chi ja problem tin to teacher la kina ngi da dia no mi ko chi le bu cái kwen lew ai go assume that mi kwen ye man ko ne ye kwen ye man ra ndre ye kwen cái di de ai yo thoi mi ku be mi ye la kwen ku le mi loy to lo mi ki ma ne da ma ra ben ko de kina kan de kuna ja kwen ba den cái yo đi lấy gì den kana a che gan lo yin chan ba gwe re non ba ko cái men de dong weถึงกันที่มีla dong ro long adjustment a che prepare ku ja long parent ke ka dia a ja adap ku ja su kul ko ga da chi resources won le ke more resources be ga yin ko won chi ga da pa de ke ban ro ko ke ala dong we they cannot do it by themselves ko ka dong ro ma re wo tin Victoria su kula chi nim tong ai tin su kula thya kana yi the key na chi nim tong a chi resources won le be ke extra help be ga yin ko kene a chi ja adab ku kena ye la bil on it ku chi mi ko a chi ya dong chi na kana la ko dum ya kadam man won dang 6 months in the same year level behind to la mi ko ke so ke na bia loy kuma na aya kuma le ko le ladim ko ja people move on so kana ay man to year 7 ko la year 8 mia ke man ke to 6 year to 6 months behind ku yen ka bi building on good be jira senior level mi ka don ro kene ki ko na ba ci yin wo ke ban jam tin long the create device lo parent yen it is very important ko we parent including me ke ngi ko a chen ngi mi ke lu ku a che le mi curriculum de pa ne chima won chi we ko le won yen na ro anong BC won yen ko ni exam ye me kun to that can we exam ti am ko university anong bikel a che ko lo a che ko lu chin exam ko yin chi la university a yin la tech but lo wo man ba pin ko le man di a chi ni BC lo exam ni do mi but the country ya ga tinge a ka je ko won technical skill e tep ku jola friendship ka galo e country ken amara ye wo chatini chari ye wo grenom a koy wundong that is skill chara an mena kini yende same skill anon koy la ben ke dictor kini dilwe ko le de ya dictor chara kini yini no le ken a chi yen ran ken anon ran ji yini skill chan ben adira loy no ran ji yini skill ben loya wach ku kor ba ya loy ko parent kingi mandu yen tani yen chan ben ngi ben be apet ku bi cheta under pressure kana chime local dad or mom and I need to be see please can we support di local yen and you watch in this all these years who to go and town to school very expensive can get a university no clear on chacha lo e kilo only 2 years ka bola lo test kule university kuman when 2 years lo test yana extra layer is skill a chitao kana la university mia ka chibe lo process won chi William Kalwel university because ina bilo kono skill jira lo learn from test ka chi diploma da chi yo ku diploma den ale be lo ko lui ku kala lo ko lo degree de so ka kor bu lo yo ku mi yo ko gol yo ko kor bu ka monitor from year 9 year 10 a good be ka jira year 11 ku ngi yo lo me ku ngi yen pale ye ku lui na support don't discourage kana kin biology kin lu kule na vi legal studies about law ka che loy ko ri ngi ku pal ku our expectation to lo mit cho ye kin nik yem ya loy ku ka che university yen pir kana kin man do kin yu exam kan lo university kin man do ji pir chi wo no a kin pir a kin wo cho ya loy kun ben create build ago pi de go la pet in a set can blue drop can blue drop a chi ku nyen ga nguen ba yin we support can ngi to ka pet ku bi de god na kilo the killer tap ku chi go to bi kan ku lui ku cha lui chi problem cha lui we da ra ka pi so ina ja an ti ber le kini en kila bal ka kan la pare
kuji chule in John Ding ramja ben mana Dr. Abur in Dr. Abur kibe question ba jap thol ko nge final question after that e final question ku bage can bage final remark jaloy ki kin go ben Dr. Abur na one of your colleagues aki gare facebook ngende e ran chok we dana pai e lele yen Dr. Abur one of my colleagues ku lele yen gele na ke ben chonyin e lekin ki koy e naning de chene ko to on the panels Chiki jam about the negative impacts of domestic violence on child education.
Yep.
So aba mar ka kui ika chira ibi kaman. Kana kya kaman ai fetu gila. So yen kina ba great. So the final question one is about the challenges of COVID-19 can baba reinstated again. Kujia career advice since you gango a parent.
Okay.
So in Dr. Burba Japan.
Let me put a light on and I will just come.
Okay. Yeah. Yen we ko da Dr. Aburo bo kuinga ning
Sorry.
yeah.
Yes. So my colleague Kwer Dana Pai Chamos City. Thank you for the question. Question and get along the impact of domestic violence on children. This is a very important question, and I think as a society, for progressive society, we have to admit and talk about it. So I will make a short comment on that later, but it is a very important. Kuwij baloi and we jam question can COVID-19. COVID-19 achi John kujala kujai jamsen already uga to in a disadvantaged position. COVID-19 has had too much on our children and on us. So example tenen but my personal experience go use by like community big daman one the first lockdown can Victoria So first time Joe first lockdown biok by set up, you know, that means alu remote learning at home, kuan and alu at home. So the first 2 days were very challenging for me, very challenging. And I was like, okay, you know, I by that time my wife actually Louis, I can work Louis, so she was working. And I don't buy the cake, one and Louis buy. So I was faced with a lot of questions. You know, Miss Kadang. I have to deal with it until Kichurut Ben Loy. I have to by Baroda adjust. I have to adjust my behaviors to say, hang on, can kachijala kachige the moment. I have to deal with it. Kichit ko when ki John Chilwell, Miss Ben, Miss Libukwit, Billa Ben Kulel, Dad, I don't understand this. So and we quarantine. So yen achi Miss Kwa no when chin koi coin cake. Cause when it gets here nakan, achi cake tau in disadvantaged position. Especially Miss Kekbula High School, ku Miss Kekto High School, kwa bula abuto year 12. Achi cake tau in a very tough kadang. Kwaji far and also achi cake frustrated. As the chita when she a kuchi and chien and Wilson. Per week, a difficult time, which we work, Bugrot support. We support one another, especially mom and dad or the relative to talk work. All of us have to work together. Bukek support, Kubugrot help, Bukai back beach during this difficult time. Yen abu with extra work later on to lekadang lui in the area can because of the chagga but you go created already. Children and then when yen la year la high school next year to year six la high school ku when jale when tabana to year 11 but a low unit and then unit and low psychology low can year 12. So technically is like a child in year 12 for that unit. Unit when and which were one of the area that which I specialize in. I think can is the bigger issue ten oko community which work buglu. So that brings me to the point of career advice. Along with Achi John Chen Jams in a pay, can yin faran, I can need capacity and talk has a quick said, I can capacity and talk the most important point with Balwelton the key is cannot drop out from school. When an area into quine when near support that child could be can be achieved. They at the end of the day, you know, at the end of the day, whether you know Chichala University or what the Katoy, at the end of the day, the outcome is to make money. If you know, if it took and then you make money and you move on with life. That's what it is. So if technical skill, if the mandu ko kopiat, you know, niara and hand on, chololoy, mata. Tenen ran winding theory, ka chololoy, cholobiot, in katoy area den kan, ko kwalabian wo lo sin. IT, most of the, you know, what kwan would wala ka chol kango Indians. They make a lot of money in IT. Most of the, you know, university, for example, Deakin University employ a number of them that are now making a good money during COVID-19 remote learning. Actually, you know, the IT support, they make good money. So to near me, near in IT, why not? Kalubeloy, Katie, Kene, we will that row, ko we will vaccine ten. Can they give option, give a number of options to which mando the chin and really in when maniana we bakwen by a dictor or by balui medicine. For example, and which one the balui medicine. But he did not he did not want to do sciences. But I was trying to say, why don't you do sciences? But no, and he wish sciences. Then I said, okay, now what do you want? Golwel kawij belui either belui finance in or business. And then Golwel, okay, what will be the third option? Golwel, okay, the third option, I'm not too sure, maybe psychology. Golwel, okay. Kayan taban and social science. So I like the idea of psychology. Golwel, okay, you know what? You do, let's go, let's take three options. So why you? Jaben again, okay. Now, finance area is good. Now, low properly, you will end up maybe working, with the bank or area of finance with different companies. Then area of business, I was not happy with it. Chaben again, jalwel yin. Oh, I feel ben oga migrant, and I don't have good capital. Kuba yegin, be in business, being in Laran later on. And I'm not too sure whether there will be any other bigger companies that can accept you because of what okay could be in low in a business kadang. So Japan will okay, let's put that as option. Acha we barai tenin, but let's talk about psychology as well. What do you think about it? And I talk about the benefit of psychology from social science, and for him, nalingi la law effects, kalabing his own business, running his own psychology business or counseling or whatever. I should ben discuss, and then he like it. I should ben niaren katoiken. So when Chen and Niar, that's why he's doing low karangman, low unit 3 and 4 in psychology. Hey, budget of bur. Yek telephone ke. Achu ben Niar in that area. So tin kuyi balwele kene tin we work faran, give the number of options, be part of that journey, the subject selection process and making those decisions, be part of it too, and have an open conversation. Don't be hard to say, oh, I want you to do this. Create the environment where all of you are honest, are having a good conversation to support one another, and then you will find the lead way around there. So can along career advice in which will also have a consultation with people who are working in education, such as John Akuch and others, or people who know this area very well. Have a consultation with them. This is opportunity for you as a parent to sit with them and say, okay, what do you think? So and so, how can I? This is what I think. This is what he think, or this is what she think. So you will get a ground there. Now, we are commenting on the point of impact of domestic violence on education and in our community. Oh, to be honest, when there is a problem in a family, violence, mom and dad actually are separated. Uh, dad, okay, mom has to deal with whatever, and she's a part of it. And she will by issues of education, or and she will be about child education about my child. This is not okay. Miss Kun was there. Miss Kun work was there. You must play an important role. And this is a ground that we work together to we work jam okay. I will play my part as a dad, and you play your part as a mom on supporting these children to go through, through education. Rather than bakek full, kon ke ko mama she are frustrated, all the frustration and whatever trauma is projected on children. Those children, is going to be hard on children. So it's the area that has got a very huge impact on the children. And I think maybe next time it has to be discussed. And I appeal to, especially to, to dads that do not give up, do not just say it's a responsibility of mom. No, you have to play part on this, to educate the children, because at the end of the day, they will not create their own debt. There's no way that they can just go and say, yes, you know, they may have a stepdad, but a stepdad is a stepdad. You know, if you fully understand what I mean. Kaka, are we buke jam ko society? Ku buk pelwe buk mis kwa buka pelwe. Kayen maybe Philip, maybe next time, or if others want to make a comment, but they can make comment, but it's a very sensitive area, and it's an area that is also affecting people psychologically. Thank you.
Na wait a ke lejer ko to on the panel den jog je tin chi chen jor ke ben ke bi ja ben man yen damanda chi lo ku yen ka chag lelbin. I think some very important points and here ko pin and die online. Maybe some of you are living die or maybe not, but about like people are really liking the topic. Kwani are your views chage express tonight. Ko wo to ki in bija bene final closing remarks, but any comments beranja diede ka on your final remarks ki jage died ki in but died bag consider there. COVID-19 is changing a lot of things. Learning actually gain a lot. So can I be part of your final remarks? Yen curriculum be COVID-19 began because can people well online. Well, we are going back to lewa COVID-19 premier. It can one of your final closing remarks, but I a question. In an option can answer a part of your closing remarks or not? So John Deng you ben by your final closing remark, but COVID-19 kajiben. COVID-19 premier. Will this change the curriculum, educational curriculum in Australia or in Victoria? Can I you don't have to answer it, but I just throw that. So John Deng.
The answer is no. You know, move on to local. The answer is no. In a jaco, you can answer no, a big no, just simple no. What are it during COVID-19 lockdown? You stay lego man kagamit, or angagen walk out to education system. Actually, is a chicken effect. Canada in a thing, pure enemy, Peter, I yellow team core. A cello you can did cookie, I love musical. Can musical one I chin a chance? 8 hours regular lawyer so cool a janon kegalo. Can I look at the in core? We a lawyer out of a ben? Kaya add on a good berak deed. A mantini time you could then buy. Kayabe your tap. Ye class no be at 10 online. Kuya class no chibu at 10 online. Kuya taco ta no ben pull with no shell. Kakamana you, I chill marry with you. So man man psychology class the one ka yo chat la na ki psychology class ki ba the anan languages ki man Italian ku yo la Indonesia Japanese adam you ki subject one man made but I jela thin condition because you know so could ke subject ka ki ka be loy bantin ku ke ka account for this education. So COVID-19 lockdown I think ka pia ki loy I think ka pia ki loy mi people are, the system now a backlog of learning. The system itself. Whatever year level target in this year. I think that is standard education. With the extra class will decide. But standard education actually just only very few. Could you like watching okay? So learning online at them, Kukaya Niaraman, no, no, they go Quinka La Perin, we go out of by could be distant, you know, but Nya Lake, I can't pia. Kill Langaman ever do, but to could believe so, we could do on site. Yenaka education using. So can I say, Quachi, fruit that yen a chicken queen, me ready for online learning. Online, I would use first year university ya keep it gonna ke ko la pya ke ne ka ko lo masters can no ability to read by themselves ka ko pya cái kun long one family violence yen I'm dealing one yen at ko anan mi jiwon nong issues ba ke ni je aya ke yuk te ko mi adu ka mi ji nong issues along education one men who nong problem pa then psychologically and mentally a share ready can be a non different mood ukami when you think can non behavioral issue is a cool can the environment china ba tin talk tin a chika turn form kai pinya ga ban tin chika pa then number one can we be consistent ke we learn a broken and man chiko romba ai kita da be bai be dia like we are moving from address to address ke school met anier bet sukulu ben their friend ko belu kana ke ko bela twen kana ke pe kana chi lo address kin lo le tukuli pe no ala jala address le lo sukuli so ke I know a broken is cooling it affect them mentally, socially, and even educationally emis ke affect so kini ni la ja a topic ko wow a direct anan ka ju to tin I Jimmy Dictor William Bush I recommend too. And I don't tang bina be ben yal channel wow, ke topic it a deep. Kuya media affect di kuya the education then yeah actually long education only even you know kaji kaya ko go ko lo yare wo kor bu yang de tin yan ka waja lo ngon ka waja ku chi po ke na ting de kai chi po ke mi eti gen ge po ke ye lekin wo woru ga sura ni na ja po na ti ga yin po na mi cha mi ga ti ga to ami ku ro de ra na po ka ni ne ti kana jira ti ya ka jira ti ya ta se we to lekin mi yin ka wunde mi ga chin wunde ba ba ko ra yin ka wunde di mi diga kum chan chi manden kilo ka ni yin mi ga mi da do ko but abu ko pol ne kana ka ba di chan be ngi ini mi ka ga cha ka la kum wa cha wan de a wan du wona tindu a wa ka wona tindu lakin mi nya ga tin mo ga lo ka free ki man wa ni ga free wa re rimba so kana la ba de ku ba to education is very important lakin na kana ran lew ka kina to ga fi anan ko piru mana ku kai ga kin a chin education kin ye pi du determine ye ka gamba loy yenga pi determine achieve education and ko no very good education lakini akina succeed in life so ka kor ba di ta under pressure kichi below because education yenga tege yinom na cha liu yes ke yin ga che lew lakini di me tungin to ke below akon me support ke below na kana lew education ke yelo ye me de be lew kana lew ma yi ka ra kon ti ye mu cha ne lew ka che me de be lew kon ting ye mu chi ne lew ku ting ye mu che me de lew maybe tang do wa ni chin chance but man yi no ga chan the chan to ko me de na ko ba tinga de kara man di yung no ani ye kwen wole mo abu lagi yin ko ba de open dialogue ne me abu guirin chan ke milke ku cha ben afro je ke mata lo ke de just klota na cha ben ke de ne cho hard afro ke kine ko ba lagi na chi tiyo nom tin kuram la lagi ne friend but I cha ben openly e ka bi jam ko ne yin kuna chi lo ko no ke di lo ko man yin cha lo no you have to do it please I am chan to kul e da wa ye ko la side anan ka ye la pio kawun ye yin ga ben that only 3 hours or 4 hours actually bi ga met ge so ko ka ya ko ba yin kara lo wo ko ya go la en ku yo la wo de ko parent ka Sudanese education lomku ke chen pir ben time and do education dai ke belu ye tanye ku ke ye ke chi belu di tanye abela yi na bi te tin ku ke den ke de ke chen ba support abelu te ye na ting da ye na an yar chan beloy ko lo support ga yitin tin te ko mi adur khi na believe but I cho live ku chi lui support cái thing that yen ka lo yen le kini chi interest cái lo pathway are very important to be me to yi to ka very important to ko me subject yi 10 please tem chan ba jang na man kun ku ko bang yi yo lo che me da fi mer che yo to lo ma yiri ba ko che la uni yo lo wa ti mi sa losing ki ken chan ke na cha wa no na chi me ku cha puch bu ko ni bc bi ya exam ku che ye le ben mu tul ku non subject ki ke wiri chan be me be ye each sim salad be me before subject be ke tiam kana su yi 11 ke ladim bida 8 units kuna be yi to lo chan bu certificate you ke bida minimum of 16 units yana ben certificate you na je yi 11 mu chitul ku ye only 7 unit so 7 subject ke tiam e ka chi bro nyu yi to okay na chi ke tiam 8 unit ku le yi to semester 1 ku den subject wir ke ye na cha full shot kimi da no choice won be lo BSP actually missing one actually bikal actually local bikal after learning abela luya side carpentry mechanic IT electricity and all those things chance ka actually da actually lost ku yenga lo yen chan me chance be lost yin ke parent chan kimi ya post one ku me da capable of doing that so kana ko ba me da tin yin lewu ku me ta ai kelewi so yina ja jam yin cha le chan cha kan cha ben ya and keep doing it king ye a chin ko ju be yen ping ko the ka won watan ka we you know bin a che o ka interesting thing na ye lo re na lo won o re le re lo ku kri tia I know di tia ma forum kan de kin man won ye ka won wo yo bu la lui ke le ga tin ai ba da bu le ko se is our job chan bu le ko bu le na no na ai na that time please keep on cái win cái issue win lu work affect cái in coi cho của chi bia cái gì là khi we gonna talk about it we trả lời
And thank you, John. Quick your final closing remarks. Pajalwil, ku be Dr. Abur Bijagur. Wabetok. There's no more questions.
Okay, that's good then. Yeah, because Pandiati and the kids. Yeah, kerang ke pajak to kena mesti nyot chi John jok chilwel kan about what then na chi kai ke chumun chi parents chi ke poga deal kan ka mit ka ko lu ko support because woman in school chan bajalwel I'm not trying to be biased but kena rolo tin more our boys ke ga chi kadang ya real to den man more ku boys ka go wen le wunden by e ka lu affected apay ko real chan e be lu show school chan nyir ayo ko yung kan vindo de ka lu affected chan ni bela school yim be na lu by they trying but majority kan e o kulo yo ka de a bit of problems are boys who especially boys only working by their fathers very hard for them ten mama den chan bi kalu control kujana school chan bi ngi belu e de a bit of issues sometimes so kine kapya chan ata to work and take tin ka eran tem chan ba men balu support so kono wonchi jon lele na wi chan ba ja jwak cho chan kine adit school kwa boys min ke ga chin number ken ba na ju dropping off kwa de gin mushkila chirka ga so ka ena pya china ben ya ko wi chamba jalo a little summary not anjibo ben du kwar create bane but kana won adek kana chuklel won yani in terms of transitioning from primary school to high school and then up to uni but within the primary and secondary school tentane en kada ne chol ne plan ay klo to wi ne chan ba ngi trir men tina deal job work được cho lui modify hoặc là chứ lui cái đằng modified cần nghĩ nap plan để lui check cho nap plan ở lô year 3 lô year 5 và lô year 7 và lô year 9 ene kun wene ke tema deal num de ente to no kwe level lo ente intin chan na le ben be ene ta se ku chu yo ka chi la mat ka tag de londe chi ba na lu mo fa wala tag de bu ye ka mainstream. So make sure na ta mandu year 3, year 5, year 7, ku year 9. Na plan test abulu cake. Ku na plan test ken aye new din tenom to know average mark at 10. Ku bangi mandu te chien wala te mia kuret binangi tin ken. Ku ba ja ting ba lu support kidi chan ku ba be te rir mitin ban. So NAP plan report is very important and be parents be galu check. The normal report here chuman which channel is important and ba lu check bangi mandu elo nini elo ku work de chulu modify wala ken lu modify e ngo yini can be lu keep update chogen alon ken yin chin reda deal ba de school ba de ka lor ka report chirka ali big ye idea of the rate to pay mandu nomtin kana won le bele ku kana won chi le bele kada ta tani ya kana wada modified won kan a chuk lel won bare che english rede ne ka kana met lu modified tin chan any subject what subject won lu metin amma I the grad chan bu teacher chan bu karang da bu work da bu lu modify chan bu duk pin chan wada ne yen man won english second language sede. So any mandu work that can be modified in any subject, but ali can be kayalu can be a little modified. So kene can we ba ben do it week. And I think that's all from me.
Thank you, Kuchai. Ramja Benman Dictor Abur, Babijagur, yeah, from final closing remark, Bajaben Loy.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you again, Philip, and also my colleagues, John and Akuch. I'm very sure Kawan this colleague of mine are well informed in the area, in this area. I think audience who are listening are very much, well content with the information that has been provided. Again, be Bagjalatin, should anybody, to do being and utilizing, but it is our job. She John Yogjing Tao put it very rightly that is our job to pass the information. It's the same job as a researcher. It's our job to to research the information and put it out there. That's why we publish or we put things. It's up to the public. You go and use it or you don't use it. Kachibena katoy, chibena machila karanwan. Kayen achi my colleague akuj kujalai John she very well. So by closing remark Baloy, we have to accept that Ogo in trouble. And we are in trouble, especially with the young generation, with kids and boys, as a quick fooded. Parkfield in Victoria, maybe during COVID-19 and report Javan yenting in the media, but we all know the difficulties. That put us in a very difficult situation, society, community. We joke, Bugrut coin, Bugrut supported, Bugmit kwa buka supported, buka bag beach, kidi, palku kati okak, relative, between relative and all that, or between parent. At the end of the day, children akegaka koikun. You put a hope on the children. And Miss Ajake Nyal, I'm very sure, at the end of the day, you feel proud. Both of you, parent, you work alabaga proud. She work Miss Kun. She work Nyal, could be big big road lamuk. So can a very important society, Bugninti the road, Bugninti the Miss Kwa, Bugninti the road command. Especially vulnerable families kwan wen ke to a wi bu ke ga ko na kiran ben tenin ko legin machila de kadula loy ke kudunde de in lotao, you know, be in la lui gossiping or be in la lui on social media wala kono. It's someone who trusts you. To can ben be like Michela Manachin trust. You must protect and you must, you know, take a responsibility baran kan bakwan. Katoy day. Kudula loy ke kedad when bin en buigup or kedad when la in en yong achapot. Achapot nyalajo. En ke shirken broda loy right. So we kai kwa kena we ba loy ten. Journey education journey kan chote de junta che kwani in today could difficulties aje kate de ben. Please let's have open conversation, ongoing conversation co society and work future when we bogrod muk buga jam bogrod information bukega share and bi og la twen na chuk loy kya ko we will remain the same problem in the bi oga to sin every year, the same problem can be oga to sin every year. But let's learn, let's not take things for granted. We are learning from whatever incident that happened, like COVID-19 now. People are learning a lot. They are preparing. There are lessons that need to be learned. That's where the research, you know, from medical perspective and whatever, people are doing a lot of work. That's why a vaccine, huh? A part of research. What do we need to learn? Where do you know to control this brochure Ben Loy Kongoben? Eh? So let's not take things for granted. Society. Which bukanga lom ko koin kurut koin ko koi kwanwan venerable ko koin kurut ko collective ko nyai ko machakal kam kwa ke ka wen machakal whether machakal bay wala machakal on social media or whatever. I think kun ko they are damaging us more than the more than the way that we think. Are joke rit kayen awij balwel chi John chingita wedror na den kula jam along domestic violence kuch then I will be a little bit hard on men because I'm also male, not because ke gror ka chik sweat. No, I will be hard on them, telling them, uh, why do you allow yourself not to do your job? That you have to do your job. It's the same thing that mom cannot be denied to do her job as a mom, and you as a dad, you cannot deny yourself not to do your role as a dad. It is not good. Now, jamandu jongo Louis struggle with your ala legin wadang telendit kwe jala lwel that kichalo war cheko podin cha palo eret. How would you feel? I think it will be painful, right? It will be painful. Will be painful. Mandu bijala ben ngejin into in a certain suburb here. Kwacha palwe you don't care. Kujo Louis struggle kulela lahara and baden. Kujo legin that in cho coach palwe in cha palwe redwar. It will be painful. So abuk well dominant, but I just wanted to put it there. Again, Philip, thank you very much for your, for the love of your community and for the great work that you have done. It is not easy, but daman chicken bagam kuba bay. It's a lot of work, and that shows that community and a coin. Kayin in which village, personally, I wanted to say thank you. It's not because they're doing that, but you wanted to help your community. Kayan and Bukoitan, my colleague, thank you very much for your knowledge, for sharing your experience. Kayan and Bukoitan, thank you. Shukran.
Thank you.
Yeah, we check a late, we quite die, we let take one, we are quite on the panel. Yen Dr. William Abur, sister Kuj, Kuja brother John Ding, I take late, we quite die. Yen a chin question big about that. So there are a lot of questions. The big but I can question me bag about take key in my closing final remarks. Yen a pleasure has been my pleasure. Ken Bagato on the show today. Kacha Kegwil, Quay chickaping, a chickaping, quan and kibula lomtin, quite chickaping, which ching like a lomtin, keep back at one, get talking away, your experience, a Chaga Express. It's up to the people now, big jatting, big lawyer, doing a community. So pleasure to have you on the show tonight. Can I like and wait? Yen, could you be surprised, don't we? Yen, this topic, as you all know, is too broad. Kwachaka acknowledge that this topic is too broad. So could it be the part two of this topic? My call will not be too far away, can go you. So can keep it in mind, you can have the alto. Can with the COVID-19 challenges to work in it. Yen part two of the alto, I have building what they had to fuel. So it's really a pleasure bucket on the show today. Can get you call Cuba Dog? Negative impacts of domestic violence on children education. We cannot discuss more time. There are human Dinka language, for example. One example of the language is talk. What is the benefits there? Can you how can it help? We made the good marks because you through Dinka language. Can I call you point? Explore. There are human NAPLAN test. When you can I explain more? Can I So there are a lot of other issues that we can discuss on the topic. So stay tuned. Yen part two, we are loading and soon. So wait a late for your contribution today. Good evening. And sorry, Tongra and Chirokut, talking and man in your but into it. I alone come here 1 hour. But guess what? I share it more interesting topic to talk about. So and wait a legend. Good evening and thank you. And thank you too.
Thank you very much.
In a bit. Bye
Thank
for now. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you. I challenge you for
In a bit.
that.
Thank you.